be crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Gunna Hookah here, and welcome to a smoke session. I tell you what, y'all better come up in this motherfucker. I know y'all been waiting. I know I'm a half hour late, but I told you it's the least professional live you will ever have on YouTube. This way you can be comfortable. This is the barbershop, beauty shop talk, but this one right here is dedicated to the sisters. This one right here is dedicated to the sisters. This one right here is dedicated to the sisters. You already see it's love letter. Love letter. So y'all get up in here. I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes. Stay in the back. They got something to say. We're gonna listen. Darling Ebony, Pink Shears, what's happening? What's good? What's good? We are about to have fun, y'all. I'm telling you, I got my hookah. I'm feeling really good today, y'all. I, was out with the brothers, chilling, right? Having some drink, laughing, having a good time. These are all veterans. We all had some good war stories to talk about. And we're here to hear. Tactical Tina, what's up? Doc, Red Bull, what's up? Music Man, what's happening? Yo, they coming in this bad boy. Gonna give maybe another 30 seconds, and we're gonna start bringing people in. Y'all come in, y'all gonna see a little something. Y'all may have to recap. It don't matter. As long as I got a couple people, that's all that matters to me. Refrigerator, what's up? Y'all, I'm telling you, this love letter gonna be the truth. This love letter is gonna be the truth. All right? But let me bring in my counsel, aka the panel. Setting it off, numero uno. This sister is the gardener of the list of people who I got. I'll get to that in a minute, Music Man. I get to that in a minute. This one, I got a few little toys, but this one is not about me tonight. This ain't about me tonight. The first one I got is the gardener. Welcome to the party, darling Ebony. What's going on, sis?
Hey, what's going on?
All right. The next one is my hunter. She's out there. Anything that moves, flies, she gonna get it, and she gonna put on a plate. Welcome, Pink Shears. What's going on, sis?
What's going on?
Welcome to the next one, my Soror, Dr. Delta. Here we go. Tactical Tina. What's going on, sis?
Hi, everybody.
Tina.
Get my applause for you. Can't leave you out with no applause. The next one, she's a feisty one, my archer, melanated high priestess. What's going on, sis?
Peace and love, everybody.
Oh, peace and love. My next one, she's a firecracker as well, my fashionista. Who that, babe? What's going on? She's ready. And last but not least, she's my angler. And she ain't playing no games today. True butter fishing. What's good with you, sis?
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hey.
Good, how about you?
I'm wonderful. Doing wonderful. Happy to be here with all of you.
Oh, outstanding. I'm glad y'all.
All this power.
It's
On
crazy.
the screen. All this divine feminine energy. Yes, come through.
But I got somebody for Rodney. What's up? I got something for y'all. A special guest who's got a message for y'all. She got a message. Just to let y'all know. She's got a message. And let me go ahead and hold on a second. That's not the one. Let's see. She's got a message for y'all.
Okay. You're not clicking fast enough, sir.
I know.
This is like Christmas Day, and you with the present.
There we go. Hold on. Okay, we got it. Give me 1 second. Where's she at? Oh, she ain't. Wait. There we go.
That's my Soror.
Volume.
Yeah, there's no sound.
Giovanni.
We can't hear her.
Y'all can't hear her?
No. But I know what she's saying because I've listened to this quite
I've
a few
seen
times.
this too.
How y'all don't hear?
There we go.
Y'all heard it?
No.
What's going on? Hold on 1 second. What are they? See, they're trying to stop greatness. That's what they're trying to do. I can't believe y'all ain't hear her. All right, let me try one more time. Let me know if you're here. Ooh.
There we go. I heard something.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Y'all heard that? God damn it.
Mm-mm.
All right, you know what? I kind of messed it up. I was doing. God damn it. All right. We're gonna try it one more time. All right, because y'all need this. All right. I already know who this is. I'm gonna try this. Let me know.
StreamYard is not your friend tonight, sir.
No, it's
No.
not. Damn. They trying to stop greatness, y'all. They trying to stop greatness. That's all right. Nikki Giovanni.
I had to switch to my phone. I couldn't use my computer.
See, I'm telling you, they're trying to stop greatness. That's okay. The computer ain't the only one trying to stop greatness, but that's another conversation.
Ooh.
I'll just say that. Ladies, welcome to the smoke session. I am so glad that y'all were able to join me. I'm really honored to have y'all here. Everybody in this joint, Jalavat, what's going on? Refrigerated Q. This right here ain't about me today, y'all. It really isn't really about me anyway, but this one right here is the love letter to the brown-skinned girl. As you see, I got 6 very powerful sisters on this joint. And they have skills in their own right, but they are bonded by melanin. They are bonded by the trigger. They are bonded by life and everything else. So I'm going to do a few questions, and then I'm going to fall back and let the council do its counseling. You hear me? Ladies, first thing I'm going to do is a gun-related joint. What is the most recent gun you purchased?
I guess I go first. It's the Sub 2000 Keltec. Poor cow.
All right. Anybody else? Go for it. Don't be scared.
Well, does it have to be purchased, or it could be one that I was gifted that I wanted?
Either way, most recent joint.
Right. It was my Savage Axis Precision 6.5 Creedmoor, so I can start working on long range precision rifle shooting.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I haven't purchased anything, but my most recent was my 12 gauge. Let's see. My most recent, like just purchase in general though, was my blue carabin knife that has like the wood blue, and then some arrows. So I'm a little bit of an oddball.
Okay. All right. Who else on deck?
So my most recent purchase was today. And I got a Saint Edge Evac foldable AR pistol.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
all right.
It's a good bug out bag kind of
a gun.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
What's your AR pistol chambered in?
Yeah.
It is in 223-556.
Okay.
Has a nice little muzzle brake on it. It is only a 5-inch barrel, and it folds and collapses into a nice little bag, little knapsack. So I bought that this week, and then last week I bought my 30-06.
Is that the one that came with the knapsack? Because I think I may be confusing it with the takedown. But if it's
it comes with a bag
to
put it in. Springfield made it or released it sometime early in 2021, and then they discontinued it like 7 or 8 months later. So I saw one and I was able to pick it up used.
It's still sexy.
It was very sexy to shoot. I sent some of the targets from my first shots to Hookah.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. New shooter, y'all. New shooter.
New shooter. New
Tactical
shooter.
team,
That
what's
is
up?
awesome.
Scott, I know you got something.
Well, within 2 weeks, I didn't get anything last week, but within the last 2 weeks, I got 3 at same day. I got the Winchester Model 70 and 30-06 that I had been waiting. And what else did I get? I got the SIG Spectra Comp 365 XL, and I got the SIG P226 single action only.
226 is nice.
Yeah, it is.
Can't wait to shoot all of them. I want to take that Spectra Comp out to the range to try it out. That'll definitely
Curious as to how that shoots, because I'm a shield girl, but I heard that might give my shield a run for its money. I'm a shield plus person.
Nice.
I wanted to be a shield girl, but these big old bear paws I got, they're not made for my hands, and I really want them to be.
See, I have actually tiny hands, so for me, the 365 XL to some extent are pretty nice for me.
I think I'm gonna have to try the shield because my hands.
Baby hands. But before y'all get too deep, True Battle, what was your most recent purchase?
I think my most recent purchase was the Janik whiteout.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was my most recent.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's about time for me to get a couple more. Like, who's that got 3 in one day? Okay, yeah, I gotta do one of your numbers. Who's that? Let me see. Tactical Tina. Yeah, I gotta do one of your numbers here pretty soon. I need to upgrade.
Hey, take your time. Look, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a marathon.
Mhm.
You got plenty of
Sure
time.
is.
the list.
As long as you have something to defend yourself, everything
Yes.
else is just for show.
Oh
No
yeah,
question. And to give you a little bit on True Butter, she also an instructor.
yeah. I'm an NRA and USTCA instructor.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Congrats.
So-
Congrats.
No thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
No question. I love it because like I said, I picked y'all sisters because y'all some of the strongest sisters I know, right? And the talents that y'all bring, to us to y'all, and I talked to y'all before, and the specialties that y'all bring, cats ain't ready for that shit. They're not ready. Think about it. We got True Butter. She an angler. She out there. She a survivalist. She an angler. She get that fish in there. So she eat, right? She get them groceries.
I literally get in the water with the fish and catch the fish. And sometimes, like this season, this is salmon season. So you got like 30, 40-pound salmon bumping up against your leg, almost can knock you
Really?
off balance in the water. And it's
Wow.
just so much fun. I'll do it in the middle of the night, in the daytime. It doesn't even matter. It's just like so much fun to be in the water and near the water fishing.
And what's crazy is a lot of people don't fish nowadays.
Yeah.
I love it. Been fishing since I was like 2.
True Butter, what is your sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, really? I would have thought you would have been a Pisces like me. I love being in the water.
I'm
Oh,
a Pisces.
Yeah. When's your birthday, Melanated?
February 25th.
Oh, okay. I'm March 16th.
Okay. So you're March Pisces. Okay. Yeah, Pisces gang. Water
Oh.
sign.
Yeah.
Is the
We got
Virgo?
that day.
That's a good one. We're all so we got a Virgo, we got 2 Pisces. Pink Shears, what are you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Okay.
All
But I'm a
right.
Sag rise.
That's my
Huh?
son.
Oh,
is.
my. Damn. Melanated as like you like my twin, my younger twin.
Right. Tactical Peter, what's your sign?
I'm a Leo. I'm a July Leo.
Oh, Leo.
My daughter is Leo.
I love
Leos.
Leos. I love Sagittarius too, and Virgos. I like everybody though.
Nice. Who that?
I am the crab, the Cancer.
Cancer. Right. Look, we got him in here today.
And I'm not a crybaby.
No, you're creative. Okay.
No question. You got Scorpios.
You're passionate.
What's going on, Crystal? Maurice, Red Bull's a Scorpio.
Luca, what are you?
I'm an Aquarius.
Oh.
My mom was an Aquarius.
My dad was an Aquarius, February the 5th. No, February the 2nd.
My brother's an Aquarius as well. He's February 6th. My niece is also, and my nephews are both Aquarius.
Are you a February or January Aquarius?
I'm a January Aquarius.
Okay. Damn
right. Setting this joker off. Even though it's a wind thing. I don't know. But we got that joint rocking. So I'm gonna let y'all know whoever just got in this joint, Crystal, Red Bull, you've been here for a minute, Maurice, Fridge, what's going on? You see who I got up in here? Power. You can feel the power. I've been waiting all week for this. Power. So, what got you started? And I'm gonna go each individual. I'm gonna go. Like I said, True Buddy, you started fishing when you were 2?
Yes. I just remember being knee high to my father, always next to him for whatever he was doing. If he was under the car, I was under the car. If he was wherever he was, I was right next to him. And so I was a daddy's girl. So I would just remember standing on the docks with him, fishing with my red cane fishing pole. And he had a regular fishing pole and my 33, after the cane fishing pole, he'd get us these Zepco 33 reels to fish with. And faithfully, you could catch fish with a Zepco 33 reel. And it's like a closed face reel. Now I fish with open face reels. And it took me a minute to make that transition because I was like, why would I change and fish from a closed face reel when it's catching fish to an open face reel? So nowadays everybody's fishing with these open face reels, and it was like a little bit of a muscle memory change, but I went ahead and made the switch and I'm still catching fish, so I love it.
There you go.
And I also fly fish now, which was just pretty cool.
Oh, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. See,
I haven't fished in years. I was a child with my mom on the bayou.
Okay.
So I can relate to the childhood stuff, yes. But as an adult, I really haven't been fishing.
Yeah, I still have my fishing pole, my first one.
Really?
Well, I passed it down to my little ones. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. It's still alive. So
my first one, I don't know what happened to it, but that was like a security blanket to me. And I went through a little bit of something when we couldn't find that anymore. So it was like it messed me up pretty bad when we lost my first one. Yeah, that cane pole, that was everything.
What's the bait for like bass and?
Oh, okay. Well, I always fish unless sometimes I fish with artificial, but I just love fishing with live bait. So I buy bait that are called panfish worms, and they're smaller than a night crawler, but it looks like a 2-inch night crawler, and they jump a lot. They're just really frisky worms. And so I put that on the hook and throw it out there, and whatever sees it actually loves it. Bluegill love it. Bass, rock bass, large and smallmouth, everything loves that. Yeah.
I enjoy fishing, but I'm still transitioning. Like, I don't have a problem hooking a minnow. Mm-hmm. When it comes to them worms, I'm like, I
love the worms. I don't have a problem hooking them on there. The shiners, hook them on there. Now crickets, I can't do crickets.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about doing a cricket, and I got a problem with the first big bass I accidentally caught. I was getting ready to grab that mug by the lip, and I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker got some teeth." I couldn't. I was like, I'm not sticking my thumb in that. So I still got some. I like to fish, but I ain't all the way there yet. And my fly fishing, it looks like some slap and tickle dominatrix stuff. It's my cast. My cast needs a little bit of work, but it gets to where I need it to be. But it's like, child, who you whipping?
Maurice talking about his mom used to go out there and they used to catch a whole lot of fish. So bad his dad used to take a nap because his mom was handling business out there. And he has a question about grass shrimp.
That's exactly how I am. People don't like to fish with me because I don't like to leave. So it's hard for me to part ways with the river. So they're like, so they get tired of me real fast.
I
actually don't mind that. Like if I could watch and pick up some tips and tricks, I'm there for it.
Yeah.
I was 8 months pregnant on the bayou with snakes coming up.
Wow.
With my mom because she didn't want to leave.
Oh wow.
So I know about that, not wanting to leave.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very addictive. Fishing is.
It is, and it's relaxing.
It's so relaxing.
It's very relaxing.
And beautiful, and the water sounds good and feels good, and the nature, being surrounded by the nature is awesome.
Yes, that is very important.
Do I what?
Go deep sea fishing.
I only went deep sea fishing one time, and we caught what did we catch? Mackerel, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy it, or was it one of those one and done type deals?
I wish I could have caught some tuna or something else deep sea fishing, so I want to try it again. I'll do anything fishing.
You want the 400-pounders?
Yeah. Nice. When I salmon fish, we catch like maybe 30-pound salmon sometimes are the most they weigh, or maybe between 20 and 30. And those are really hard to reel in from a boat because the boat is trolling. And so the boat's pulling one way, the salmon's running the other way. So it feels like you're trying to pull in 100-pound fish. And your arms get really tired. It takes about 10 minutes or more to reel it in. And I mean, my muscles just are on fire by the time you actually get it up to the boat. But then that's still part of the thrill of it. So
what's the longest you had to work to get a fish? Like as far as the time frame.
Well, when that your adrenaline is running, so you lose track of time. So, but I would say maybe 20 minutes.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fish?
Bluegill. Well, my favorite is bluegill and perch to catch, clean, and eat. Yeah, I'll fillet those up same day I catch them. Get them filleted and cook them, and the family loves it because they don't have to deal with the bones. They get some fresh fish, and they're kind of spoiled now. They don't even want fish from the freezer. They want it the same day I catch it. Yeah.
It sounds good right about
They can tell the difference in the texture after it's frozen. It's a slight little difference, and they don't even like it like that anymore.
So you got them spoiled.
They are spoiled. Yeah.
So shout out to A Kennel. He's fishing full of beer, one cast, and hope the fish don't bother me. So he just like to be out there chilling. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Maurice asking about white perch. You catch perch?
Yep, we catch white perch when we're angling for walleye. We catch a lot of white perch with yellow perch. So yeah, they run with the walleye.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Fishing is off chain. With angler is speaking up in here. Mm-hmm. So we talk about what swims. We're gonna talk about what flies, and this is where Pink Shears comes in with the waterfowl and the birdies and good birds out there with the wings and stuff. She shoots it and gets it cooked and eating good that night. So she out there during the day eating good that night. Pink Shears, elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, maybe a few weeks later. I like to stock the fridge. I got into I call it wing shooting. Because my first hunting adventure was at a women's clinic with Pheasants Forever. and they were pen raised pheasants, and it was great for one of those introduction to hunting experiences. And then I had the opportunity to go on my first wild pheasant hunt, and I was hooked. It was being able, first of all, when I first started shotgun shooting, I sucked. I couldn't hit a clay, and in the minute I got good enough to hit clay, it was a challenge. It was like click, like, if I can bust these little discs that are about this big, 50 yards and 75 yards out, I wonder if I can land me a few birds. And it kind of went down south from there. And I have some hunt buddies that it's been kind of interesting seeing the major differences, but yet the similarities versus Black people learning to hunt, and then my white friends that feel like they grew up poor, where duck hunting was something that rich white people did, discovering that, hey, we can do this stuff, and we got on some ducks, and it just went down south from there. First of all, ducks are a delicatessen. That's all I have to say. And then when I discovered that you get more meat off geese and they emulate steak, I was done because I have food allergies. So I can't eat most commercially processed beef because I don't know what they're doing in the market. And unfortunately, I can't afford cow anymore. Like going to pick a cow and say, I want this one. So eating geese to emulate steak, and just if it's got wings and it's edible, I'm on it. That's all I gotta say. I am on it.
Black drum, sheep's head, red croaker, and jackfish. That's straight for the angler joint for sure. And Maurice, like, I need to go hunting. I'm probably gonna be going hunting in like another 2-3 weeks. I'm gonna do some deer hunting. Met a guy at my job, and he's like, he got some land up north, and I'm gonna bring some toys up there, and we're gonna go shooting some deer and stuff. So because he can shoot up in the backyard.
Let me go ahead and add on to that.
Go ahead.
If you're going to hunt, or if you're contemplating or thinking about hunting, take hunter education class. They are, I'm saying the term loosely, free in all of our states. You just have to pay for the test, which can vary state to state, but from what I've seen, it's been $20, and you pass the test and you have it for life. Even if you've aged out, and even if you are military, because in I don't know if it's most states or all states, if you are military, it exempts you from having to do hunter education.
Okay.
But there is definite information that you need to know. Don't just go get an apprentice license and have a buddy take you. Know the rules and regs. Learn the hunting seasons, learn why people that shoot shotgun and firearms wear blaze orange, or in some states blaze pink, and you'll learn which states when you take those classes, versus if you're an archery hunter, you're not required to wear blaze orange or blaze pink when you're walking out there. It also simulates formation if you're hunting in a group, on how you should be, what your shooting zone is. And all it takes is an 8-hour course that you can do half of it online, and then there's an in-person portion. I think it's very important that you go and take this class, because you're getting started with the right foundation. And that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Hey, shoot. Hey, education is key for sure.
Yes.
I'm glad you said
always
that.
good to be educated, a veteran, of course. You never got too many skills right there. Talking about, you went hunting today. We had somebody who just went hunting today. What'd you get, man?
That's what I want to do. I'm going to go hunting with my bow so bad.
Yeah, and it's different if you're hunting with a bow, like archery season versus alternative or firearm seasons. The rules and regs change. Like, I'm attempting to archery hunt for the first time this season, and I bought what I thought was, I call it the Willy Wonka ticket, where you can get either antler or antlerless. Usually during archery season, not archery, during firearm season, it's one. I bought this damn ticket. I got two whitetail tickets, one for tags, one for antler, one for antler-esque. And they tossed in turkey where you can get a hen or a jake. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why ain't nobody ever told me that I get this many tags for the same price and I can hunt two species during archery season? You mean to tell me I could have limited out or filled my freezer before the end of October and been done and just chilled the rest of the winter time? I'm like, see, had your dumbass took bow hunters education, you would have knew this. So archery is that's a different beast altogether right there.
And you can hunt with a crossbow or
Yes, you can.
bow.
Yes, you can. Like I'm hunting with a crossbow because ethically, I did not get my compound bow in enough time to go and take a deer. I know that I can effectively take a deer 30 to 40 yards. 40 yards is my hard max. But me just getting close 90 yards up to a deer and them not even notice me was a win for me. I didn't get anything this past weekend, but it let me test my limits because I went camping and hunting. And I'm not gonna say backwood camping and hunting because I took a 6-person instant tent and I had a whole damn studio in my tent and a heater, but I camped for a weekend and I thought I was a winner because not only did I scout, I picked a good spot. I had two beefy does come 90 yards within to where I was at and didn't even notice me. I had hikers get 21 yards from me, never even noticed me. And I was like, oh, I'm freaking winning out here, even though I didn't.
Nice.
Say that again.
Were you decked out in camouflage?
I was decked out in camouflage. I was in a blind at first, and then I got up and walked, and I sat under a pine tree that had some natural foliage leaned over, so I was naturally camouflaged, and nothing saw me except the ants. So, and I was hunting the national forest, so that's a lot different than hunting on private land and traditional conservation hunting land. I was literally hunting in the forest where to drive from one end to the other is like a 2.5-hour drive.
Nice.
So that was a different experience for me.
Nice.
She has some pictures up on IG.
I do.
Inboxed her about hunting.
Yes. And I was like, you gotta come up. And I had a great time. I didn't get anything, but I had a great time, and I really felt like an Olympic champion knowing I had 92 deers walk 90 yards in front of me. I was like, if it was rifle season, both y'all would be down.
Nice. I love this joint. So we got the food out the way. The groceries is out the way. If it flies, if it crawls, if it swims, already got that bad boy on lock. 2 sisters gonna shut it off. The third sister I'm going to bring into this joint is my fashionista. What I like about this sister, she make her own shit. And she be getting down on the 2 wheels of steel as a fellow rider. I used to have a Yamaha R1. So I used to get busy on 2 wheels myself.
The R1.
Yeah, that's my joint, right? Oh, I loved it. Somebody stole my shit. But I think about getting back on that horse. I love the freedom. I love doing a $125, a $140, wide open. I had an open face mask. I had an open face helmet. I just had the German helmet, and that was it. I'll be out there doing a $135.
Oh, you was on the Audubon.
No. I just have my German helmet. I'll be on the regular streets.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I'll be crushing on the regular. I'll be on like some of the interstates, and I'll be, I should get it in. I just like let it go. It's something cool about having a Ferrari that on 2 wheels,
Yeah, that bike you had pretty fast.
Oh, I loved it. The best ride I did when I was in Arizona. That was a really good ride. It was wide open out there, and I used to get in with my boy who'd been riding way longer than me, and I learned from him. And then brought my bike back to VA and was riding down there. I love night riding. I love being out there at night riding my bike up and down the streets. And I did like a little premature wheelie. I wasn't trying to do it, but this dude got next to me and I just floated. So I went up on one wheel for a little bit and I brought it back down. I hit that clutch and brought it back down. And I love it. I love riding. I brought it to Maryland because where I live right next to a highway. And all I could hear all summer was, ew, ew. I'm like, oh, I got to get my bike up here. I got to get it in with these cats. So I get my bike up and I'm riding. And, at the time I was finishing up school. So I'm coming from school on my bike and his Mustang rolled up. He revved his car, revved it, and he took off. I was like, oh, okay, it's that kind of party. So I hit that throttle and was gone, left his ass. And then 2 days later, my fucking bike got stolen. I woke up.
Sad.
I was ready to ride to work. It was a little rainy, but I don't mind the rain that much. Went out there, and my bike was gone. It was a fresh still because you could still see where the wheels were. It was dry. So they just shit. I was like, and I'm kind of glad I didn't see it because I probably would have took one of my shotguns and it
took them out.
Yeah, I'd have been a problem. So, but that's all good. It happens. I'm gonna get back on that horse. I looked at a couple of cruisers. I want to buy a Gatling gun instead of the cruiser, but I'm gonna get back out there because I love two. Anybody who ain't never been on two wheels, you gotta get on two wheels because it's ain't nothing like it. The freedom that you have on two wheels is insane. But enough about me. Who that talk about the bike? I've been seeing you in your videos getting it in on your bike. Tell them what you got and how you get busy.
I got a Kawasaki Ninja 650R.
Okay.
I don't get to ride it a lot. I try to. It's like every time, no matter if I do guns, archery, or whatever, I have issues. I got my hair braided. I couldn't get my helmets on. So this weekend, the weekend passed, and I was going. And I was like, okay, I got to take these down and find a different hairstyle or a bigger helmet, but I couldn't put it on. But I like to go to bike meetups and stuff like that and mingle with different people, but I'm not in a club or anything because I don't like clubs. I'm going to say
like
that.
a lone wolf. Nothing wrong with that. I love being a lone wolf.
Yeah.
On the road, the cool joints like the little bit of camaraderie. You see them ride by, you throw the peace sign, they throw it back at you, and you just keep going, right? So
yeah. The wave is down.
No question.
Damn. Yeah. It's also it inspires even children, little girls. I've been on the bike where I'm at a stop sign and their dad might be on a four-wheeler with the daughter or whatever, and they would stop and just watch me. And I'm like, why are you watching me? But the little girl was so amazed, I guess, to see a female. And a lot of, you get that a lot riding. I can remember one time it was these ladies it was a white van full of ladies. And I think they were, I don't know if they was nuns or it was some type of spiritual group of people. And they was all in white, and they was like throwing their fists up and yelling and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm just on a bike. But that makes you feel good to see that. Also, when females riding bikes, it inspires other females because they don't get to see it a lot. They always think that it's a male feel to be able to ride a motorcycle, two-wheel.
That's true. Or either we're always on the back of the bike.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
And funny joke was in my class when I first took it. Who had the highest grade? A woman.
That's because we follow directions better.
Yeah, and there's that, right?
I started.
Yep.
I started riding like in 2007.
Okay.
That's when I first got my first bike. It was a 250 Ninja. And I started then, and I just loved it. It's fun, y'all. It's really fun. You just gotta watch out for the crazy folks, but that's you. Even in a car, you have to do that. But it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Do you have? And I may not have seen it on your Instagram account. Do you have a posting on how you carry when you're riding? I'm curious about that.
Yeah. I did a video where I got suited up, and I showed a video where I here. Or I have this black bag that's magnetic and fits on my tank, and I put it in there.
Okay.
Nice.
So those are 2 ways that I carry.
Nice. And elaborate a little bit. 'Cause I know I say you fashionista because you've been making clothes. I remember when I first started following you, you had your styles and stuff, your hats, your dresses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You could be fly as hell out this joint.
Yeah, I have a fashion degree in fashion and merchandising.
Oh, okay.
When I first started doing anything with YouTube was the fashion thing. I used to do fashion shows. I make clothes for people, but I'm not doing it as much now. I took a break because I'm more focused on, the outdoor things, the archery and guns and stuff like that.
All right.
But I have some of my dresses and stuff on my YouTube channel that I have made, or you might see a model in it or whatever. But yeah, that was my first love, fashion.
No question. No question. Shout out to all my people in the chat. I see y'all. I'm just, but I'm so in tune to these sisters right now. So, if I missed y'all, I apologize. I appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. We're going through. The next person I'm going to bring on this joint is my Soror. Somebody on here is the Crimson and Cream.
Right. Where is she at?
Go ahead, elaborate, Tactical Casino. When did you cross the burning sands? And tell a little bit about yourself.
I crossed the burning sands on Valentine's Day,
Nice.
February 14th, 2009. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I pledged grad chapter at Stone Mountain Lithonia alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Nice.
And very large chapter, very large line. We were the largest line at the time. It's 166 ladies on my line.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Where'd you from? What was your line number?
153.
Oh wow.
But the tallest sorors behind me, my back, she's 5'9" as well. But the tallest we have is, I think, 6'1".
Wow.
So, yeah, 166 women. But then the very next year, Atlanta Metro chapter had a line of 244.
Oh wow.
I don't know how they did it because it was rough on us.
Wow.
But yeah. I truly enjoy it. I'm still active and financial ever since. So I'm highly involved. I believe Delta is the best. Absolutely best. My best but she messed up. But that's okay. But we love y'all too.
Because you be told, I contemplated on crossing over to the purple and gold.
Oh, refrigerator Q.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I thought about crossing. I didn't wind up doing it, but it's never too late. I got quite a few brothers that are like, hey, if you do it, let me know. I'll write your letter, get you right, and get you on that line. And a few of us actually are we're going to probably start a frat, another military frat, and see where it goes from there. So, it's always good to have that camaraderie,
Yeah.
So that's good stuff right there.
And Tactical Tina, I have also considered it, and I'm still considering it during grad chapter. Mm-hmm. But currently, I am a part of the oldest fraternity, African American fraternity, before Delta and AKA. Let's not forget my Masonic and Eastern Star brothers and sisters.
No, yeah.
So I am a Eastern Star.
All right.
Though quite a few of them, I met quite a few in Korea.
Yep.
Yo, that's my family too.
Oh, melanated?
Yeah, my bloodline and shit. My father's side. Yeah,
it's on both sides.
Full of nothing, but yeah,
it was my dad's.
It's on both sides, but it's more so my father's side.
Okay.
A lot of Eastern Stars, Masons, Shriners, and yeah.
Yeah, my father, I didn't know where it came from because he wasn't a Mason, but I didn't know that his father and mother were. And he said, I really would like for you to become an Eastern Star. And I didn't think anything of it. And then eventually I did.
Yeah, my father, he is a Mason. I was supposed to do the Eastern Stars, but shit, I want to know. I got too many questions. But I mean, I guess eventually I'll come full circle.
Nice.
And I have two first cousins who are like brothers to me. And one is a Mason and one is a Omega Sci-Fi.
Yeah, see, we also have Kappa and shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Divine Nine. Shout out to the Masons and Eastern Stars. Just shout out. It's always, you got that camaraderie, you good to go right there.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull got
I love my Eastern Star sisters.
Nice. Salute to Prince Hall, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna bring on my archer. This sister right here. Bring your ass on here so we can see your face.
Yep. Turn that camera on.
Turn it on, Melanated.
I was rolling. Was rolling me a
We told you not to multitask tonight.
Right. Bring your ass.
Yep. We're gonna have to come to California and drag you on out.
My archer. This sister here has gone to the point where she's doing all kinds of matrix moves and shit. Shooting targets all like in crab walks. She's throwing shit in the air, shooting it out the sky. So she has definitely taken that bow to another level. And of course, her blade game is just retarded. Wrong word.
Here she go.
Ain't trying to be canceled.
Shooting arrows upside down in back in.
She get on my nerves. I'll be looking at her videos. I'll be like, oh.
I'm like, wow, really. You gotta do it. You gotta do a back bend and hit the bullseye.
Exactly. Don't bring on there. Talk about it, Melanie. Let these people know who the hell you are in this game.
Okay, so I am kind of all over the place. If you actually look at my page, even though I'm into guns, because I came in so late, realistically, I had to come up with some backup plans, which was the reason what initiated me learning the other skills in the first place. Because I realized that at some point I'm gonna run out of ammo a lot sooner than other people who've been in it for a long time. And then I'm also more than likely, like, I'm not gonna have a whole bunch of guns because I came in so late in the end of 2019, like right before the pandemic hit. And so I was talking to somebody and they were like, you know what? Something that's timeless is archery. And the reason why is like, one, it's silent. Like with the gun, yeah, you can have a silencer and all that stuff, but you're still gonna hear it. Like, but with the bow, if you hear it by chance zipping through the air, it's already too late. And it's already hit its target. That's what I really love about archery. And I also love the simplicity of it, that you can find all the materials that you need to create a bow, create arrows in nature. So it's not gonna be too much if it breaks. I can always make another one from stuff in nature. Like with the guns, like if your gun messes up, what are you gonna do? If you run out of ammo, then what are you gonna do? You gonna throw a rock at them? So that's where archery comes into play. You can hunt with it, you can defend with it, and then of course, my knives. Now that's just fun, especially the knife game.
No question. I told y'all, look, y'all in the chat, y'all better see what the fuck I got on here. See what the hell I got. You see these sisters ain't bullshitting out here. And finally, last but not least, my gardener. And let me tell you something real quick. Y'all got these peppers. That motherfucker will light your ass up. Let me tell you something. Yo, I've been eating them. I had some ramen and shit. So I throw my chicken and cheese like Korea. Of course, I got to put a couple of scoops of them peppers in there. You cook them down, they ain't as spicy, but they still give you a little bit of sweat on the sweat be on my forehead and shit. But I've been sleeping so good. For some reason I sleep good after I eat that kind of meal. It's like a nice meal with those peppers. I gotta have those peppers. Bomb ass motherfucking peppers. The sister grows her own shit, right? So I told you, you see who I got on here. Motherfuckers think I'm playing. I'm gonna say this real quick before I get into Darling Ebony. When you go from community to celebrity, you don't get this information. You don't. I'm about community, and this is where it's at. Shit get hot out here. I got people who I can reach out to either to A, provide, or B, educate. That's what I'm about. That's gun the hookah shit. Fuck all the other stuff. That's just my little piece, because it's about to get real hot up in this motherfucker in a few minutes. But before we get there, Darling Ebony, let people know how you get down with your gardening and let people know who you are.
So I got into gardening. I can't remember not gardening. Back in the day, I have some age on me. My grandmother was my child care. And so every spring, as small as I was, she had a huge garden, huge. And she would, sometimes along the side of the garden, there'd be these little dirt patches. And to get me out of the way, she would give me a few seeds to plant here and there. So I planted a cucumber one year, and, she along the side of the house would plant cabbage. I lived in the big city for many years. And when I came back, there were two things that I wanted to enjoy again. And one was shooting and the other one was gardening. So for the past few years, I've been back at gardening. And this year was the biggest garden that I have ever done. I had yellow squash, crookneck squash, zucchini. I had watermelon. I had Italian beans. I had cucumbers, two different kinds of cucumbers. I grew okra. I grew yellow kale, green kale, two different kinds of cabbages, collard greens, mustard greens, turnips, which are still growing outside. The turnips and mustards are still growing outside. I did strawberries. I did tomatoes. I did spinach, which is still growing outside. I did two different kinds of potatoes, red potatoes, white potatoes, three different kinds of onions, yellow Spanish onions, yellow candy onions, red onions, and actually, I guess 4 types of onions, because I did also green onions, scallions. I did beets, and I did what else did I do? I did 14 different types of peppers, and I did broccoli. And so from late summer all the way until now, every Sunday, I go out to the garden and my mom says, "You pick it, I cook it." And we've had whole meals. I've done tomatoes, cherry tomatoes every day on our salads. We've been having the cherry tomatoes with the pickled beets that I did. I grew lettuce. I grew 5 different kinds of lettuces. And so I pick from the garden and I bring it in the house, and she's been cooking it. And it's been amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
I know the importance of growing your own food, man, because people just underestimate, like that's going to be needed. If you don't know how to grow your own food and you're having to learn on the fly, that's difficult.
It's difficult. And you never know, you never know when something is going to happen. Mm-hmm. We didn't know COVID was going to happen the way COVID did.
Hold it down for me, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Hold it down for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
He said, hold it down for him. He about to take a break.
Oh, okay. We didn't know when COVID was going to happen. And even if you have to start growing your own food, it takes, a couple months before that food bears fruit. So I always believe, as much as possible, and I live in the north, and it gets really cold up here. I believe, as much as possible, it's important for you to constantly have something growing until you can plant everything else that you need. I believe in constantly. So I did a summer crop. I did a summer crop. I did a fall winter crop. I'm starting a crop now of garlic, and I'm planting my onions now so that I'll have them in the spring. I try to plant lettuce as late in the season as possible, so that if something happens and we're not able to go to the store, at least for a few days, we will have something to eat. It's not, you can't wait until something happens to start growing your own seeds, because there's the rule of threes, right? You can go 3 days without water, 3 minutes without air. Supposedly, I know for me it would be shorter than that. 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. So you have to, I don't think people realize during the COVID time how close we were to our entire supply chain being shut down.
Yep.
And
then even still,
that,
look at the prices now.
And look at the prices, but even with that, think of COVID. I remember going into the grocery store, because I went and did all the grocery shopping for the elders in my family, and the shelves were bare.
Yep.
So it's important to have food stored, but also to have food constantly growing. So
learn how to store that food is imperative. Canning.
Yes, and canning. Have food constantly growing and canning. So I this year I canned pepperoncini peppers. I did pickled things. I did people don't realize you can can things in olive oil, because olive oil is actually a preservative. And some people actually recommend that you don't boil cans of oil because it becomes rancid, but you can preserve things in olive oil for several months and not have to refrigerate and not have to boil it, So I did peppers and stuff like that, so that we had something in addition to making sure that you stock up on your dry goods, like your peas and your black eyed peas, and I have a lot of pasta here, and your pasta sauces and all that kind of stuff. But with my mother, I have an Italian friend, and she's showing me how to make my own spaghetti sauce and can that, so that we can have spaghetti sauces from the tomatoes that I had. We had fried green tomatoes every Sunday. We had fried okra every Sunday. So the importance of growing your own food is preparedness. If you can't eat, you can't live.
And then also something else, how would you handle like someone saying, well, I don't have enough space to grow?
I don't have a lot of space. I mean, I do, but I don't.
But it's still possible. And I think it's a misconception that you have to have a lot of space in order to grow food, and it's not true.
Right. No. So a lot of the food that we grew, I actually grew on the back deck, like the lettuces, because some things don't need to be out in the sun. And particularly in the summertime, some of your things will become stringy and grow too much, or they'll start to bolt and form seeds before you have an opportunity to eat it. So keeping it in a shaded area actually works. So I grew a lot of things on our porch. I went and bought these huge barrels that they have at Home Depot. And I was able to I grew the onions in barrels. I grew the mustard greens in barrels. I have 2 raised beds, and I had a garden table to grow my collards and cabbage in. And there's other mechanisms. You can get a hydroponic tower. They have these growing towers. One guy that I like to follow is the Rustic Garden, and he has these towers that are vertical. And you could, if you lived in the city and you have a balcony, you could put 4 or 5 of those towers, and you could grow lettuce, you can grow cucumber. I mean, you can grow almost anything in these towers, depending on how tall they are. You get them, and you could, constantly have a sustainable source of food.
Growing mushrooms, that is awesome. And then too, the other thing that I've seen is it was this lady, she was in an apartment. And have you guys ever seen like those little shoe racks that have like the little pockets?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Those are the growth towers. Those are the towers.
Mm-hmm. So he had those, and it was leaning against the door. But inside it was some dirt, and she was growing stuff. Like she made it work.
Right. I have grown nettle. I have also next summer, my mother wants to get some landscaping done at her house. And I'm going to actually do herbal landscaping. So there's certain plants that I found that grow that are perennial, meaning they come up every year. And they produce pretty flowers. And those are the ones that I plan on planting around the house. So for example, arnica, because you can use arnica root as well as arnica leaf to make a salve for that's like Bengay. You take, boil down the leaves, put some olive oil in there, boil them down. You can make a salve that's like Bengay for pain. Arnica root, you can make a tea out of it, and you can use that as aspirin, as an aspirin, as a pain reliever. I'm going to grow chamomile because that's also a perennial. That's good. Go ahead.
All right.
You said something about aspirin.
It's
what's it? Oh, root. She was talking about root. The root that you were talking about.
It's arnica. You can use it for an anti-inflammatory and a pain reliever.
Okay.
And it's a perennial. It's a perennial where I live.
Okay.
And now, speaking about the herbs, since we're touching on that,
I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Tactical Tina, are you asking, is it like an NSAID?
Yeah.
I have not looked at the mechanism of action of it. I'm not sure if it works specifically by the same mechanism of action that salicylic acid does, but it has been used in order to reduce inflammation and as a pain reliever.
I'm just curious because I'm allergic to aspirin, and so if I tried that, I wanted to know if I would have an issue with it.
I'm not sure, and you'd have to research that. Because I'm not sure. And what I'm saying, just so you know, I'm not giving medical advice. Thank you for clear, because I'm not trying to get sued. Because from one doc to another, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying that
just FYI.
These are herbal remedies that have been used in the past, and I plan on growing them in my garden.
All right.
I do have an allergy test for those too.
I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
This is to Darlene Ebony. What if you have, like, I have a tomato plant still alive and also a bell pepper plant. How do I keep them alive during the wintertime?
So I have not been successful in overwintering, but I know people who have been successful with pepper plants and overwintering. And one of the videos that I would go to is the Pepper Geek here on YouTube. His name is the Pepper Geek. He just loves growing peppers and does more videos about growing peppers than you can imagine. And he talks about overwintering, but I guess what you do is you cut off all the leaves up until the main stalk and the first Y of the plant is what you leave. And you keep it in a warm environment, or you keep it in an over-weathering bend, and then you bring it out in the summer. I have not had an opportunity to do that because I don't have all the tools that he has to be able to do that. But you can overwinter peppers. As far as tomatoes, I'm not sure about overweathering tomatoes. I thought that was more of a crop I mean, there's some people I'm sure who know how to do it. It just seemed like too much work for me.
Right. Okay.
They still alive.
Mine are too. I have some tomatoes I need to get, even though we've had a couple cold days, cold snaps. I have some tomatoes that I need to bring in.
I brought mine in. Stay inside now. All my plants.
Now, something, since we're touching on herbs and stuff, that can be very beneficial just so you can get kind of familiar with herbs that are around you in your area, because it's really important. Shit hits the fan, and you have to live out shit from nature. You know, it's stuff that's out there that can kill you. So get books, as many books as possible, so you can have on standby to help you be able to identify these herbs and roots and stuff, the mushrooms, so that you don't eat the wrong stuff. Because again, it's stuff that's out there that is very deadly. And a lot of the herbs and stuff have lookalikes, deadly lookalikes. So you want to be really specific on what you are putting into your body. Also, something that people I don't think really normally ask their doctors, but I think it's really good just to have an allergy test done so you can see what kind of stuff that you're allergic to. So if shit hits the fan and you're living off the stuff from nature, you will know what to stay away from. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. And I'm allergic. I have a lot of environmental allergies, but for whatever reason, that's never translated into like leafy green stuff. Two books that I think everybody should have in their library. One is Back to Eden, because it's a very good herbal guide. And the other one is a guy, I met him actually years ago, Victor Skolvinkis, wrote a book called Survival into the 21st Century. Obviously, it was written in the 20th century when the 21st century seemed way off, but it has a lot of good information in it.
Good stuff.
Okay. Y'all, and also a tool that you can use, like if you're just out in nature, just walking around, chilling, taking in nature, but you don't have your book on hand. Now Google does have this little app. You take a picture of whatever you're around. Google will show similar pictures of that same thing, and you can go through the checkoff list to help you identify. So if you don't have a book handy, that is something that you can do just for fun if you want to learn how to identify plants. But before you take anything, be sure you know what the fuck you're taking. Okay?
Right.
Yeah. And to give a good example on that, I 100% agree with you on having the books, because this is the day and age where we're all dependent on technology. It's always, there's an app for that. You can scan for it. But speaking from experience, this past weekend, my cell phone didn't have great coverage. So this wonderful app that everybody talks about called Onyx, which is actually a great app, was shit for me out in the field because I didn't have great service to get live updates. So, it's a good thing I knew my directions, north, south, east, and west. But as far as foraging, I highly recommend having a book. And a good example that you can use to look up later is look up morels and then look up false morels.
Yep.
That is a visual example where you can tell, like, not mushrooms could be not all mushrooms are good for you, and you really need to know how to identify things and stop depending on technology to do it for you.
Yeah, because like the false ones will have, a solid center. It won't be hollow. Like it's little things that you have to make sure that's on the checkoff list to make sure that it's safe to eat. And, books, like what if your phone dies? What if your little battery pack runs out and you have no more juice at all whatsoever?
Yeah.
You now don't have that information available. So that's why it's good to have old school books. As cliche as it sounds, as people don't really like to read shit, it's very useful to have that just on standby and have it in your dugout. But like if you are on the go and you just want to read your phone and don't want to carry any books around, if you're just going somewhere and you want to have your phone with you, you can download some books that have a lot of great information. So it still works like if you're offline. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I keep laminated my own little booklet in my pack where if like for example, there are some people that are nature privileged is what I call them, that grew up with the exposure and know their way out in the field. And I don't. I hunt, but I've only been hunting like 3 days now, is what I tell people. For somebody to tell me, oh well, everyone knows moth grows on the north side of the tree. No,
No, they don't.
everyone doesn't. So,
Right.
I think I wish these were skills that they would bring back into our educational system, because if technology was to just go on, we have a blackout on technology, we wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Well,
Nope.
I think
We're
that
so
goes back
dependent on
to
it.
just us as people and taking back into our own hands stuff like that, because we all know the schools, they're not going to teach shit like that.
Yeah.
That it's going to be up to us making that time. Because like what I do with my little ones is we'll go out into nature and I'll just start pointing out different plants and
Yeah.
bark and stuff and teaching them, what is what and what you should not eat, what's okay to eat, what are the uses that you can use it for. And then also just little tips like with the moss, and also like little things that you can use to help you find water, and some of the animals that you can watch that will also help you find water.
Yep. I'm still pissed off about learning about pawpaws last year. Like, why nobody ever tell me about pawpaws?
So you live in the Appalachia region?
No, I live in, well, yes, sort of. I live in the Kansas City, Missouri area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Some
So
of it, yeah.
because pawpaw is huge here in I live in Ohio, but I'm a part of Appalachia. That is like everybody.
Yeah,
loves-
well, pawpaws is huge here, but apparently this black girl didn't know about them because the older women that finally was like, oh yeah, pawpaws are great, and I'm like, well, why in the hell y'all never tell us younger folks
You know what I
about
think is,
pawpaws?
when I was a kid, I used to eat pawpaw with my grandparents. I don't think I've seen a pawpaw tree in Ohio in 20 years.
Oh, there's an abundance of them here.
We had an abundance of them here too. I remember being in my grandparents' backyard and climbing the tree, and we actually used to have around here a lot of fruit trees too, because I remember I was able to get plums and cherries and peaches and stuff like that here in Ohio, and they were in my grandparents' backyard. And now we don't seem to have these natural trees anymore that we used to have, and I've noticed it. Also with True Butter and her talking about fishing there, between here and Cleveland, there's a like, I don't know, a reservoir or something, or creek, where when you're driving to Cleveland, you pass through it. And when I was a kid, I used to see all these people with tents, and they would be ice fishing. And the weather has changed so dramatically that I don't think I've seen anyone ice fishing out there in over 20 years.
Wow. There's not been much ice, or the water's just been too low. Like, I know it's our rivers and lakes were, it's, for me, it's like when I hear people saying, oh, climate change is a hoax.
Yep.
Where were you at this year? Because I didn't go duck hunting on opening day because our marshes were dry as hell.
Right. And literally, I'd say for the last 15 or 20 years, this place that I used to see every time I drove to Cleveland as a kid, and you'd see all these little tents and people ice fishing. I don't see them ice fishing. I don't, because there's no ice to fish on. I remember when there's a park here, and they would always take a section of the ice and like rope it off, and people would go ice skating like on an actual pond.
Yep.
They haven't done that since I was a kid. And you can't tell me that climate change isn't real.
Right. Shit. You see this joint right here. Yeah, I'll check y'all out. I've been shout out to some of y'all in the chat. A Candle dropping some game on the meats and stuff like that. Maurice, showing love right here to the ladies. You know what makes this chat so good is these women inherently have a nurturing nature where they are not only looking out for themselves, but family. The info they are finding, they're sharing with us, the fam. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much for that compliment to Maurice, that you noticed that we all have that nurturing spirit in us, and that's natural, yes.
God.
Especially, you know, the misconception that is circulating around Black women.
Hold that thought, Mel. Hold that thought. I know you're ready.
She's ready to go.
Right. She had them eyes blinking. She was ready to preach.
Melanated has got
some
that
preacher
fire.
eyes on.
You can see the smoke ready.
It's right there, right there with you.
There we go.
Yeah.
God bless
Her
all
ponytails was getting ready to start.
We were about to unite powers right there.
I know, right?
Fire for this motherfucker.
Yep. And I was right behind.
For those who might be a little soft-skinned, a little intimidated, and all that other bullshit. I brought these here for a reason. This team of 6 right here, if they came together in a shit hits the fan scenario, they will outlast 99% of the population on this planet. Based off all their tools and tactics and the ability to learn. Real shit. This is no camping. This is no fucking trying to get coochie coupons or whatever bullshit. Right? I had a conversation. I did a live. This is old school shit with my boy. We talked about just get to the gun, just the gun part of it. And we talked about women being better students of the game when it comes to the gun. Right? We won't add anything else into it. And his joint, I'm gonna paraphrase, he was like, I think women are better at it because they have this protective mindset, right? Whereas the men, we kind of get into like this machismo type of thing. I'm paraphrasing what he said. But that's true. It's real shit. You seen it right here. If y'all don't understand that the sisters is bringing some shit, I brought 6 women here that don't live in the same area.
Unfortunately.
Right?
But we need to plan to get together.
Look at that. Saga retreat. Look, I've got retreat going on. And the education they dropping $100,000 game on y'all right now. And it's free. Mm-hmm. It's free shit. I'm sitting back soaking it in, Googling and stuff like that. And I tell you what, y'all ain't gotta fuck with her. Hey, that's on y'all. Y'all ain't gotta fuck with her. But hey, I'm here. I'm giving these sisters took their time out. They could have been doing anything else with their time, but they here on smoke session with gun and hookah, sharing game. So if y'all ain't gotta respect it, that's on y'all. But y'all fucking up. Look, behind every strong man is a stronger woman. You goddamn right.
It's behind every strong woman there's a strong man.
Hey, look, I ain't say that. I ain't say shit. I'm just chilling. Just know there's a strong woman. There's a strong woman in the mix somewhere. We stand in front, side, back, upside down. She got the strength. Bringing that shit. With that being said, I am now going to fall back. I'm gonna put it on mute. And ladies, I want y'all to let the world know who you are. Let the world know who you are. For those whose feathers will be ruffled, get the fuck out. You don't belong here. You ain't trying to learn shit. And I ain't on no bullshit. Look, and if you think
I wouldn't even say get the fuck out. I would just say have a seat.
No. Get the fuck out. They don't need to be here.
And just soak it in. It may not click with you right now, but at some point, it's eventually going to register. So I wouldn't necessarily say get out. Just, just have a seat and be quiet and just classes in session.
No, they get out. Fuck them. Get out. Get out.
It's your life.
if you think for a second, it's just me right now. If you think for a second, I'm acting tough because I'm online. I'm 6 feet tall, 270 pounds. So if you want the smoke, I'll bring it. But
that's
right now,
that Aquarius energy right there.
it ain't my time
Aquarius
right now.
energy.
This is for the sisters, right? But just
You
like
know,
y'all, my
you know what
credentials.
I'm loving about this panel?
What's up?
We are all across the country.
Goddamn right.
We're different dynamics.
Goddamn right.
We're different ages. But collectively, like if shit was to hit the fan, like I definitely don't have that green of a thumb. So I definitely know Darling Ebony would definitely be the one that would be in the house, taking care of the plants, feeding us, making sure we got a winter stash here. You know, I know Melanated would be able to defend the plays, close range, close combat, and then at least I know that I can go get something in silence and not need to use a firearm, and I can bring it back and field dress it and cut it up, and everybody eating, and we got our fisher women, and then we got who that can ride 2 wheels. If she need to go out and rescue somebody and chop out the heads on the way,
and she's another artist
and keep your clothes
clean. It's like
and still look stylish while we do it all.
And still looking good while we doing it. It's like what
that bitch, she gonna be out there shooting that bow with me.
No, I ain't gonna shoot it at you. I know we gonna shoot it together, not at each other.
Right.
Because we gotta have a couple archers, to make sure it holds it down.
Yes. And and you look at us and you would not know that we have so many different dynamics and so many different skills. And when people find out some of our passions, some of our likes, some of our loves, or find out what we may do on accident. What's that meme that goes around? Yo, can I follow you on Instagram? And that meme, nah, you don't want to follow me. I'm a whole different personality on Instagram or whatever. It's like we have all these dynamics that we're not what you see on TV. We're not angry Black women loving hip hop. We actually have something that we can contribute and share within our community. Because I know during COVID, especially when the shelves were thinned with meat, my neighbor, her and I call, they're an older couple, Miss Shirley, her and her honey dip. That's what I call her old man, because they're in their like 60s and 70s. Her and her honey dip. He had a farm. They were bringing me bushels of peaches and cream corn and tomatoes and vegetables, and I was going in my freezer getting them steak roast and summer sausage and sharing the feather. And I had another friend that had a garden, and we were survive. We were going to survive during COVID, and this was all just within my circle and in my community. And it's like we don't have to know everything. You don't have to be an expert at everything, but collectively we are amazing and we are powerful.
It's a whole lot of talent and skills that's needed. You know what I mean?
And we are an underestimated and an untapped resource.
Yes.
We are underestimated by everybody, which is confusing to me. Because when people get in trouble, the first thing they say is, think like a Black woman, vote like a Black woman. So why are you underestimating us when you clearly have some level of understanding of the power that we have?
Yes.
And then
they don't want us to know that.
Hold that thought. I'm about to fade out. I'm about to go mute because I want to make sure I do that real quick because I don't miss your thought up. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm a fade because now the floor is yours.
Well, I just think that we are an underestimated on a lot of ways, and we're underutilized, but then at the same time overutilized. So what I mean by that is that, for example, in our community, unfortunately, we have a group of men who've decided to become very vocal, I think that, and loud about, well, Black women, why don't they cook and clean for the brothers anymore? Why, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why can't Black women be thinner? Why, no matter what we do is not sufficient enough.
Or not being ladylike.
Or not being ladylike. You're too masculine. You're too, so we have that going on. But then at the same time, as somebody who, I did go to some Black Lives Matter protests, and the majority, I'd say 2/3 of the people there were Black women and white college students. So we were the ones who, all the way back when you look at Ida B. Wells, and she was the one who risked her life writing about the lynchings of Black men, and Rosa Parks. Often a lot of the movements were started. People forget that 2/3 of the membership of the Black Panther Party were Black
women. Yeah.
Right. 2/3 of the membership of the Black Panther Party were the Black women. If you look at the story of Ella Baker, and she talked about, and one of her biggest gripes with the civil rights leaders of the time was that the membership of the Black church, 2/3 of it was Black women, but there were no Black women in leadership when it came to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. So on the one hand, people know our power and want to use it. On the other,
when it's convenient.
When it's convenient for them. On the other hand, they want us to go somewhere in the corner and shut up and be quiet.
Yeah.
And also take abuse. There's that element of that too, to kind of make us not realize the power that we have. And so then there's this element that you guys think you're too much of yourselves. You guys think you're more than what you are, or you're too masculine. And so we're both underutilized and overutilized at the same time.
Yes, especially I work in a male-dominated field. I get it all the time. Oh, you know how to cut hair? But if I was a man, you wouldn't come in the shop and ask a man, do he know how to cut hair? You just go sit in his chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Riding motorcycle, shooting a gun, the same thing. You're not supposed to do that.
Let me ask the women, who that be? You touched on something. Let me ask the women. What is the craziest thing that has, I know you guys have had stories. What's the craziest thing that has happened to you at the gun range?
Oh, I got one. I had a man load my shot shell in my shotgun, and I have never been so offended in my life.
Wow.
I actually had, it was the first moment in my life where I literally had to catch myself from, and not that I'm a like the shit at shotgun, but I had to catch myself and turn around and say, do you know who the fuck I am?
Right.
Did you just put my shotgun shell in my shotgun for me because you assumed that I didn't know what the hell I was doing? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna humble myself. And I was like, yeah, please don't do that again.
Yep.
Show him you know how to shoot it now.
Oh, I did. I did. I had to. I'm like, all right, normally you goof around, but now you can't miss a single play out here on this field this time. And I don't like to be that person either, because I'm a little bit older. I'm carried it too. I'll be 45 here in a few weeks. And I'm at that age where now it's like I don't have to prove nothing to nobody.
Right.
But myself. And I know my limits, and I know my strong points, and I know where I'm the weakest link at. And I am totally okay with that. But what I don't need are people now in my journey and my adventures in the outdoors telling me you don't need to do this or you need to do it that way. Well, if I'm not breaking any rules and regulations now, I have to fight the issue about I don't need to live my outdoor life or my gun life how you think that I need to lead it. And I've actually had some, some white men actually tell me that just because like I had a company give me some free scopes because scopes were not my strong point between first focal plane and second focal plane. I just discovered there were 2 focal planes earlier this year. Okay. So they know when I get a product, I'm sharing it with as many women as I can. I don't really care if you're black, white, or whatever. If you want to know and you don't have one, what's mine is yours. Mm-hmm. So he tells me, well, was it made in America? And me, I don't know. That's part of my research. When I find out, I'll list that in my little review deal. Well, those parts were made in China, and you should be using a platform where you support made in America only. And I went, and he was a white man. I said, bruh, calm your tits. I had to go there. It was like, first of all, you're not even giving me the opportunity to even get that far in my review and my research. And my platform is to present products and information that people such as myself may not be aware of. And what I choose to do on my platform is my goddamn business, and you can swipe left and go to hell on. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, I can't support someone or follow someone that doesn't do this. Well, you ain't never shared a like, you ain't never donated to my organization, and you ain't never mentored. So unfortunately, I'm not going to miss something that I never had. Bye-bye. Yeah. And I'm like, everybody is quick to tell us as black women how to act, what to do, what we should be doing. And but at the same time, I didn't see you giving, and I told him too, I was like, you're telling me all the reasons why I shouldn't be showing this product. But at the same time, you're not giving me information on products that are made in America.
And
it's a constant battle.
Not only that, and I mentioned this on Hookah's Live a few weeks ago, it really bothers me that we have now a Black 2A community with some women who have 50, 60, 100, 200, 300,000 followers. And at midnight, because I often don't get a chance to get on my computer until midnight because I'm busy during the day. And I see a new gun drop, and I see all of these white males be the first ones to get the guns at midnight. Why can't some Black women, you're constantly telling us the fastest growing group of new gun owners in this country are Black people, with Black women taking the lead in that group. Yes. And I turn on my YouTube at midnight, and it's all white men reviewing the guns first. Why can't some Black women get these guns 30 days in advance, like TFB does, like Mr. Guns and Gear, like some of the other channels do, and let some of these Black women shoot the gun for 30 days and have a ready-made video, so when your gun drops at midnight, I know I can go to Sister's channel and see that she has shot this gun first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel you on that.
It bothers me that we are so taken for granted, and it also bothers me that we as a community are not demanding more.
Yes. I want to say something. I wanted to say something. Starting this gun thing with me, I did it all by myself. Without a man. I had to do my research. I had to go trial and error. Yeah. I did it all by myself. And there was no other male around me that would encourage me or even help me. I had to do it all by myself. So I'm like, so don't tell me what I'm doing wrong when you wasn't there to help me.
Or should I say a woman?
Yep.
And then a lot of the same ones that have wives or girlfriends that hate guns, and it's like you wonder why. I'm pretty sure that you probably made the experience very shitty. Like,
yes, being a butthole, and said, "Oh, you." And then when she tried to learn, you say something negative to her, where she don't want to learn after you gave her such a hard time.
My favorite. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was like, you're gonna make mistakes. Just like when a man first got a gun, he didn't know how to shoot either. So he needed to take that into consideration when it comes to his female women around him, to be a little bit more softer, be a little bit more patient, be a little bit more understanding, instead of just cutting them down from just because they didn't do what you thought that they should have done.
Well, you know, I think my thing is, and my biggest pet peeve, and guys love to do this, is you see this guy give his girlfriend a 58 a 58.
I was just about to say that shit, because it's like, why would you do that knowing goddamn good and well that is going to fucking hurt her and create a negative experience, which will make her not like fucking fun. You are going to want to have a partner that is on the same page, that can do equally, if need fucking be. But no, you're going to create a negative experience, and then the shit that you're going to be fucked.
For women too, you're like, oh, you know, and you're putting it on YouTube, you're putting it on social media,
and you're laughing at her.
My girlfriend's never shot before, so I gave her a 58 Desert Eagle. I want to see what happens, and then the gun hits her in the face or the nose or whatever. Luckily, I've never seen it out. And you're laughing, and then you,
ladies, if your guy does that, fucking leave him. Leave him. Not for you. Leave him.
He do not have your best interest.
Abuse. That is abuse. That's I mean, that is
on another level
abuse to do
and,
that.
And then not only that, especially with Black women, like, brothers, you should want your Black women, your sisters, your daughters, your mothers, to know how to protect themselves. Like, women,
if he go down, then they can have his back. And I don't understand that.
Not only that, just being in life and stuff, it's very dangerous for a woman.
Yes,
like, it's very dangerous.
Very dangerous. But Black women, we are 2.5 times more likely to be murdered than our white counterparts. Nobody wants to talk about that. We are 2.5 times more likely to experience domestic violence than our white counterparts. So we're fighting a fight on two fronts. We have white supremacy on one front, and we also have a level of patriarchy and misogyny within the community that we have to protect ourselves from too.
Yes.
Because when I wanted to learn how to hunt, you know, I have to explain this on different aspects. Like, I'm walking a line. Me wanting to learn how to hunt, it's not respectable and appropriate for a married man to take another woman out in the field if his woman is not there or not comfortable with it.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't understand that. And I'm like, you know, it's I don't know about y'all, but it's a Black community thing. Another woman does not put herself in a position to be alone with the man without a chaperone. I don't care what day and age it is, and it just does. It's not respectable, and it doesn't look right.
It doesn't.
So me wanting to learn how to hunt was hard when, you know, all of your classmates are guys and they're going hunting. And, you know, it's funny because one of my classmates' wives was like, "Hey, you're gonna take Pink Shears out hunting and blah blah blah." Me and him were looking at each other because I'm at their house for dinner, and I was like, oh, "That is so sweet that you trust me like that." But I don't think I want to go out in the woods for a weekend with our classmates and be the only woman there. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't think about that."
And I'm the same way. I'm the type of woman that if I know you are partnered or you're married, I am going to always make sure that I give due respect to that woman in that relationship. And so there has to, some of this is our fault. We need to make sure we have girl code and not be so desperate for a man, because how you got him is how you gonna lose him.
Gonna lose him.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So what I always do. I always make sure to give deference to that woman. And you're right. I'm not going to be friends with a man like that. So that does, when it comes to certain things like shooting and even gardening and stuff like that and farming, that means that I have to learn a lot of this on my own, do my own research, because I'm not going to put myself in that position. You know, I have no reason to be DMing you if you're married.
Exactly.
I have a unique situation. I have some buddies that, quite a nice little handful, about 4 or 5 of them that I met while during the pandemic, basically ammo hunting. Okay, all of which are married. And when we used to get up like at the crack of dawn trying to find some ammo or getting in line and stuff, right? But every last one of them be like, "Oh, call me, just call me." I was like, "I'm not calling you."
Yep.
I'm not calling. Why not? Because you're married, and because if you were my husband, I don't care who she is, she shouldn't be calling you at the crack. Right. I was like, out of respect for your wife, I'm not calling you because it ain't like that. You know what I mean? So I don't want her to feel some kind of way, and it's not like that. So,
and it creates messy situations.
Correct. So
now, fellas, if you want to go about it the correct way, get a sitter for your kids and invite your wife to go. Like,
Oh yeah, I ended up meeting all of their wives. I met everybody's wife. I'm cool with everybody.
Yep,
but at the same time, I still, even though I'm cool with them now, I still during this what we're doing right now, I've gotten 2 calls from 2 different ones of them, and I'm like, nope, I'm not taking a call for one. It's after 8. For 2, I'll holler at you when I talk to you. So it's and they like, oh, it's no big deal. You're my little sis. Still, nope.
Yeah, I have a friend whose mother hit a deer 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was a big beefy one. And he calls my phone, and he immediately goes, "Put me on speakerphone." I'm like, "What?" I'm thinking it's an emergency, and he's like, wake your man up," and I'm like, waking him up, and he goes, he's like, "Yo, bro, my mom hit a deer and I'm about to get a salvage tag, and I was want to know if you'd be cool if she come over and show me how to field dress it, because I never done." And I am dying laughing because I'm like, I can't be mad at the man for that. He immediately put me on speakerphone so I can ask your man's permission. Come on my house at 5 o'clock in the morning and show me how to cut.
That's respect.
Respect.
And see, a lot of people don't have boundaries. Is what I'm seeing in the community.
Or home training.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's hard,
and then they also expect you to
shout out to the plague.
And then they also expect you just to be a gun bunny.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like some of us are actually trying to learn the skills so that we can survive.
Right. Also, because we know we might not be able to depend on you.
Yes,
that part.
But like, I remember when I first started coming around the YouTube, I remember there was this conversation in which somebody said, why can't Black women be like white women in the gun too arena, where they you see them in their bikinis and shooting in their bikinis and all that other kind of stuff. And I was kind of offended by the comment on multiple levels, because one, women of other communities, that whole shooting a machine gun in a bikini, that was 1980s, 1990s stuff. But I see women across the board, regardless of race, in the gun game. It's about being tactical. How do you wear your gun when you're going for a jog? That bikini thing has been played out for the past 20 years. We're not doing that.
We're thinking realistic situations.
Right. Regardless of what our ethnicity or racial makeup is. But then the other part of that is, like you said, Melanita, we are not meant to be your gun bunny. We actually have to learn this skill because, as Malcolm X said, and it still rings true,
we are the least protected, okay?
The most neglected, the most disrespected person in the country. So when we're learning how to shoot, we're learning to be able to defend. I take care of my elderly mother. I think about my elderly mother in every decision that I make.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you kids, you think about being able to take care of your kids, and we don't have anybody to protect us. We have to do it on.
If shit hit the fan, we are the fucking backup plan.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're plan A and plan B.
Yes.
And even though no one may say anything or even acknowledge it right now, we are observed a lot more harder, and we are judged harder than they do any other women in the industry. Like, I remember the craziest thing I heard was the first time I went to a steel shoot match, and it was one of my first ones, and it was cold. And I had on some range pants made for chunky women because I'm fluffy. And I had on, you know, a windbreaker shirt that was made for me, and my little tactical boots. And this man thought he was really giving me a compliment when he told me, "Oh, you look really professional." And I'm thinking to myself, well, what the hell was I supposed to look like? Did you think I was coming up in here in some Gucci daddy
bikini on? Yeah.
And a tube. So I'm like, it's 30 degrees out here, and I got on, my clothes fit, my shoes are appropriate, I got on my holster and all that, and you're telling me, oh, you look professional. Like, they didn't expect a black woman to come in looking like a pro. Even though I wasn't a pro, but I was thinking, huh. And I have some people laugh telling me, well, your camo doesn't have to match. No, it doesn't, but I want it to match because you expect my shit not to match. You expect it to look like it's from Walmart. And it's just crazy the different standards that were put on. Or, I got to have these long claw nails, or, now they're trash. I get so many people wondering what's my fingernails look like, what my polish look like. I've had people ask, why don't you straighten your hair? Why do I need to straighten my hair? This shit'll go under a cap just like yours do. Or it's just so many double standards that are just so annoying.
But it sucks because we get it on all fields. We get it from white women, we get it from white men, we get it from our men, and then we also have it among women as well.
Yes.
It's interesting. I remember one time I was at the range. One thing that I like to do when I go to the range is I like to try different things. Mm-hmm. I'm very into the marksmanship of shooting. I'm not a hunter. I'm vegetarian. I like the sport and the marksmanship of it. And so I will go to the range, and maybe one day I'm sitting there and I'm working just strictly on my grip. And maybe I've done a lot of research and I want to try something with my grip. And invariably a guy will come up to me. And I remember this one guy, old white guy. I wanted to punch him. I was working on my stance. And I was trying to decide, I usually kind of do an isosceles stance, but I was trying to decide, well, today I might try a weaver, or I might try a half weaver, or, and try it in different ways. And he says, I don't understand why you're standing that way. And he's there shooting with what looked like his grandson. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you leaving your stall to come over to my stall to try to tell me how to shoot? I was at the very first gun I ever shot at 5 years old. Mind you, my grandfather was standing behind me, was a shotgun. So that's the gun that I know the most, have shot the most. And I'm at the range and I'm shooting my Benelli M4. And this man clearly could not believe that this black woman has a Benelli M4.
Oh, of course not.
And I'm hitting the target. So he didn't have anything to say about my marksmanship, but he had to say, Hey, and he's on a different range. He screamed from the range he was at, widen your stance. Widen your stance. Why do I need to widen my stance when I'm hitting this target and the stance that I have is comfortable for me to be able to shoot my gun?
Exactly.
Down
Okay,
there.
hold on one second. One second.
Exactly.
Hold that joint right there, because y'all was getting it. Girl, I tell you, I'm going to change my voice on this thing. But we do have one more person to add to that.
Here comes the trouble.
Yes.
We have an instructor. We have.
Somebody has some background going on.
Huh? What's that?
That's this
No, that's hookah.
nut over here.
I'm gonna bring her on as the seventh honorary member of this team.
Look, Roger Troutman.
Bless
start that out.
your heart and introduce Crystal up in this one. Here we go.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
The Python
Hello.
Hi. Introduce yourself. Tell your sign. Tell all that good stuff that you do.
Hey, Crystal.
princess. You on mute, Crystal.
Yeah, she's talking up a storm, but we
Yeah,
can't.
you kind of talk. You ain't even on this bad boy. Come on now.
Take yourself off mute.
A bootleg phone.
Yeah, she ain't on the phone, hookah.
Bootleg computer. Can you hear me? Oh, she ain't pay a
We
bill.
can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Now you froze.
Internet
Hey,
messed up.
turn that Dyson off. Maybe
While
it's interfering. That Dyson is interfering. That snake fan. Or should I say snake heater?
We just lost. See, look, bootleg. This is what happened, y'all. When y'all pay your bill, y'all gotta pay. Or y'all get that. You don't get that Verizon. You got that Tom Warner. Yeah. Need that good stuff. Y'all playing. All right, we're gonna try one more time.
One thing I want to say real quick, I think we all should make sure that we subscribe to each other's YouTube page for sure.
Right.
And then Hookah, if you would, or somebody post all of our links in the chat so that others can subscribe as well.
I will do that. Absolutely. I will definitely do that. For those of y'all who have, I'm gonna put it all in the chat. Let me bring Crystal back on here. Crystal, welcome back. Are you good now?
Too would be nice.
No.
No. Bootleg. Bootleg. Yo, get off the wireless. Plug your joint into Ethernet. Ethernet.
Hey, Crystal,
But I also just want to say too, like, fellas, don't underestimate the women because we have that natural nurturing in us. And best believe when it comes to protecting our offspring, our little ones, we are going to do anything by any fucking means to get the job done. And it's like, be smart, fellas.
Yeah.
All right, I'm putting joints in the chat right now. Follow IG. Follow Pink Shears on IG. All right. IG again at Crystal with her bootleg ass computer. At Porn
headphones in, girl.
_ training solutions. Okay.
I had the hardest time. I mean, I was like, I couldn't get on with my computer. I'm like, why? It wouldn't show my video at all.
Hey, darling Ebony, question for you. She here or she on break? What stock do you have?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
What stock do you have on your M4?
I have I stepped away for a second. I'm getting something to drink and warming up some food. But the stock that I have the 1014, so it has the adjustable stock versus the thick stock.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
You got the kind for the military and stuff.
Yeah, I got a.
You don't have a civilian one. No, you don't have a civilian one.
No, I don't.
I got one of them.
Where'd you find that?
On them.
I found that at Thin Feather and Fur.
Oh yeah, they do usually have a good selection.
Peace and blessings to everyone except for Guns and the Hookah because he got jokes.
Turn that Dyson off.
He got jokes. Except for Guns and the Hookah because he got jokes. I just got out of I had to hop off and go into a Zoom with Antonia Okafor. She's doing a concealed carry series, and the guest she had on tonight is actually pregnant. So we're talking about carrying while pregnant.
Why was that? Where was that published at?
Antonia Okafor, she had published it on her. She had it on her Instagram.
See, I noticed that Instagram doesn't really advertise a lot of Black people's information.
No, yeah, that's like also
because I follow her too.
TikTok, they don't show a lot of Black people using firearms. It told me it's like a few. And matter of fact, I got banned from TikTok after being on it for a couple of days. And just to try it out, just to see something, see if I was tripping, I flagged some Black people, and I also flagged some white people who were doing equally the exact same fucking thing. Yeah. And guess who the fuck were the ones who were deemed in violation?
Black people. Yeah, Black people. That happens to me on TikTok all the time.
Unless you're being irresponsible with your gun.
Under fire for that shit comment that they made, like. And their discrimination that they've done to other content creators in the past. They gave some bullshit ass apology not too long ago, but yet this still continues. Because I know when I got flagged, they considered me being a criminal activity. And it's like, first of all,
that's what they say.
I'm legal, but the white counterparts are not viewed in that same manner.
No,
and when I see other people who look like me, who try to say that, oh, there's no such thing as a Black 2A versus white 2A. Yes, it is. It's a fucking big difference. It's not the fucking same. I don't care. No matter how much you wish it wasn't the same, it's not the same. You will always be treated differently.
Versus melanated. They will post Black people on TikTok being irresponsible with guns, though.
Yes, they will.
Yes,
but be responsible with your firearms. They won't post that. But I have that video on my account of the young lady, her dumbass husband, boyfriend, whatever, took her to the range, put a Desert Eagle in this woman's hand, and didn't properly tell her how to hold it. And his video is on TikTok, and it hasn't been taken down. So as long as if you're being responsible with guns, yes. If you're being irresponsible,
I would have loved to see the.
They'll let you stay up there.
Yeah, because I want to see more responsible gun owners to help break the stigma. It's like we're all not criminals just because we have a gun. And that's what
showing your ass, you would be on TikTok.
Oh yeah, but that's okay. But what's crazy is TikTok was its whole entire fucking platform. It's based around fucking Black culture. At the end of the fucking day, it would not be a TikTok if it were not for Black culture. But yet, still to this day, Black content creators are treated like shit on TikTok.
Yes, they are. Yes, we are. I'm gonna say because I'm on there too. But yes.
Yeah, I'm not on TikTok.
But that's why it's very important whenever you do hashtag. I'm sorry, I'm not cutting you out. I'm sorry. Hashtag Black something. Black. That's the only way you will find anyone that look like us. Black gun girls or Black archery. Black motorcycle. That's how I found the people that's on YouTube. I use the Black word. And that's how I found people that look like me.
That's what I did. I typed in Black women. I typed in Black women and guns, and I found 32 Icon. And from 32 Icon, I found Santee. I found Miss K. I found Diesel. I found RGG, and then that is what opened me up to then meeting Hookah and finding all the rest of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the same thing I did.
That's what happened with me. Yeah.
That's what I did 2 years ago.
Because if you don't, the type of people that pop up they don't look like you. So you have to be really specific on what you're looking for.
Shout out.
Pretty much anybody. When I first got into shooting, the exact same thing. Any Black woman I saw with a gun in her hand, I was like, I'm gonna follow you, all right? And as long as you're not
doing something stupid.
But for the most part,
on my on my YouTube channel, somebody put in the comment section, asked me why am I always saying black girl rides, because that is a group of bike riders that are black girls that rides, and that's their name. But they asked me why I use the word black, and I told them to Google women with guns and tell me what come up.
White.
It ain't it. That's it. And I was like, we have to, it's sad that we have to do that, but and we are the most diverse and most creative and most more educated and baddest BICTHs on this
We run
planet.
extremely quick.
Yes.
Can I let you?
And we are the if there was a picture in a dictionary of moving in silence, that is us.
Can I let
Like,
you?
Dr. Clotina.
Yeah.
Clotina, are you gonna be at Chopper Day?
No, I won't be at Chopper Day.
I was like, oh, I
wish. Y'all know I love Chopper. I love me.
I've never been, so this will be my first time going. I have a class. I'm teaching a class in the morning, and then I'm gonna ride over to Chopper Day because.
Wait, you don't work on Fridays?
Because my girls will be partly because my girls will be there. Who I am the biggest fan. I am the biggest fan of these young ladies.
Crystal,
yes.
Remember I sent you some snap caps that were weighted. Can you send me their autograph on one of those on something? I don't care if
yes, ma'am. Yeah, I got to meet them. So Guns Out had a range day last month.
Oh yeah, I heard that was
in
really
Northern
good.
Virginia, it was really good. They had like Terran Tactical there. I literally went because Survival Sisters there, and I communicate with their dad behind the scenes a lot. So I was like, this was my first time ever getting to meet them, and like we were together all day. We actually ended up going to shoot. So yeah, I particularly when I speak to women that have children, little black girls, I always promote them. I'm like, hey. Because all these kids got Instagram.
White people, they're prepared. Their kids are prepared. They're out there shooting.
I was like, you're little kids, and I think kids need to see it. Absolutely, you need to see what you want to be in the world. And I'm like, anybody? Oh, you have a young daughter around their age? Hey, they all got Instagram. Go to Survival Sisters and check out these little girls.
What irritates me when I hear people saying, "Oh, you don't children that young," and it's always on the black kids, and I'm like, well, I don't see you telling that to Jane Wick's parents.
I don't think you told that to Lena Mitchell either, because I'm sure she's been shooting.
No. Yeah, tell her that.
So, and Autumn, I think her name changed, but her used to be Autumn's Armory. I don't know if that's still the name. She's about an 8-year-old, and then Tactical Mia, she's about an 8-year-old little white child, and
I watch her.
Oh, it's always raise them right until they're black.
Right.
Oh, no.
And I didn't realize Lena Mitchell was so young because I've seen so many videos of her over the years. She's like only 26 or 27 years old.
Yeah.
We got about 15 years of videos of her shooting.
Yeah, and she's an industry baby, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just she grew up.
She grew up that way. Both of her parents have been competitive shooters since the 70s. I got to meet Jerry Mitchell recently. Yeah. He shook my hand, so I'm hoping some of that Mitchell-ness rubs off in these competitions.
Yes. I had what is it, 11 by 8 target, and I took it out 79 feet and shot it with my Shield Plus. And I said to my instructor, he's like, you got 4 of 5 shots on there. And I said, but Jerry Michalik would have hit dead center each and every time. You're not doing your job. What am I paying you for? I'm trying to shoot like Jerry Michalik.
He's super sweet. This is nice. He's a very nice, like some grandpa. He is. He's very sweet. But yeah, I mean, at 3-shot Dakota, there's a lot of young white girls
And what
on
about that
Instagram
girl Autumn? Her
shooting.
name is
Autumn's
something.
Armory. Autumn's
Yeah,
Armory.
she
She's
goes.
like 8.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look these people up.
I think she may have. I think they may have changed her name. But it was Autumn's Armory, and then there's Tactical. I don't know if you watch Tactical Mia. She's
I know
about
about
8 years.
her.
She's about 8 years old too.
Okay.
8 or 9, something like
Yeah.
that. But
I would,
there's a few, and
I would love
Tactical
to see
Mia.
more black kids.
Yeah,
in
Tactical
TV
Mia is
sports.
running competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Like she runs competitions better than me. I'm like, okay, sis, little sis, they show me how it's done. But yeah, that's why I always anywhere I am, I always promote the Survival Sisters because
Crystal, I ain't
they
playing
need
for
to see
you.
that.
I want their
Yes, ma'am.
autograph.
You want an autograph? I know
I
I
want their
forgot to take
autograph.
this last time, so I'm gonna take it
Yeah.
Saturday when I go to have
I
them
don't
actually
have. I
sign
don't
it.
have one of those. Tell their daddy no offense, but I don't even want their autograph.
Oh my God, he is Fred. He is a mess.
You know what? I only got one issue of that magazine. Has there only been one issue? That one?
No, I think there's
What's his
been
name?
3 or 4.
Black Rambo was on one, wasn't he?
I don't. And this is don't
I know
you
this
get
was the premiere.
Right, I got the premiere, and then I haven't gotten any more of my other issues of it.
I've seen maybe 2 or 3 more, but I could be wrong.
And that comes out through Naga, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they took. Well, I'm not gonna go there.
I got a question for you, ladies. Since y'all brought up Black Rambo, it just made my ADD mind, which I don't have ADD, but it just all over the place. What do y'all now think of the artist Twister now, a firearm instructor? Y'all have any opinion about that?
Well, to my understanding, he's been doing it. He's been shooting guns for a while, from my understanding.
Yeah. Shooting guns and being an instructor, and also.
I don't know enough.
I don't know enough to make
Is
this.
he certified? Is he certified?
Yeah, USCCA.
Yeah, he's a certified instructor. Yeah. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, so I don't have enough information to make an opinion.
You can't watch a lot of his stuff because if you want to watch it, you gotta pay for it.
Hey, this America, we live in a capitalist society.
Yeah, I was just curious. He came out with that announcement during the plague era, and I haven't heard anything about, other than I think his class was like $500 or so.
But you
got a free soundtrack.
But I would think though, if he's an instructor, why isn't he instructing gun camp then?
I don't know. Is he? I don't know if he is.
No, they have Asian Wick is their gun instructor or something like that. I don't know. That's what it appears to be. All I know is what it looks like on YouTube, and what it looks like and what it really is probably maybe 2 different things. So I don't know.
I don't have enough information about it, but all of us could become USCCA firearms instructors. So if you're a certified firearms instructor, I don't know what the issue.
I'm a USCCA certified firearm instructor. So
right. So I don't know what the issue.
There's nothing wrong with having more than one. So.
Right.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I haven't seen enough of his content to form an opinion, but I know the name.
Yeah, I was just wondering if any of y'all had seen his content.
No, I have not.
Not on that. I've just seen. I seen him shoot at he came to Nashville to shoot. I saw him shoot. And, I've seen videos of him just shooting. That's about it. But I'm not like checking for him like that, so I don't know.
I think that I know I want to become an instructor. I just haven't had the time to do it. At least become certified to do it. Because we do need, I think, more Black female. I think all of us should become instructors, even if we're not going to use it as a profession. Because we need to very much be each one teach one. Because I know when I took when I got my CCW,
I was so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable.
Really?
I live in rural, you know, I didn't, it's just different learning it from a woman. I think.
I'm looking into becoming an instructor as soon as I find somewhere.
The more the merrier. It's definitely needed, particularly with the fact that Black women are the fastest growing population of gun owners and or purchasers here in these last few years. And I really believe that we're seeing an awakening among Black women, really starting to understand that their safety and their security is their own, and they're looking for people who look like them, and women, because I've been at a range and I've seen, I've seen with their significant others, and not every, just because you're a man and you can handle a gun does not mean you can teach that woman how to do it. Now, me personally, I've only been trained by men at this point.
Me too.
But other than my TC when I got my certification, but I've only been trained by men, not because I don't want to take a class with a woman. I just haven't had the opportunity yet. But there are certain things that we as Black women understand, and I think they're just looking for that kindred spirit, that our circumstances and our things are different. They just are.
Like for example, I remember when I took a CCW class and I took a women's defense class here. And both times when I took the classes, something was going on in the news.
Mm-hmm.
And while the instructors I felt were helpful, I felt like a Black instructor would have quashed certain comments that were made that I found offensive. Like I remember when the cop had just shot James Blake in the back, had just grabbed him by his shirt and pumped all the bullets. And I took this women's defense class, and no, this was for my CCW class. And this lady starts talking about the justification of it, which was irrelevant to me, us getting our CCW. And she was kind of going on and on and on, justifying shooting him in the back like that. And that same woman a few minutes later asked if she could shoot somebody who was threatening her dog because her dog is so cute. And
not in the Commonwealth of Virginia, you can't.
Not in Ohio either. But I think what bothered me with it was you literally diverted attention away from a CCW class
for your dog.
Trying to justify shooting a Black man. And then literally 10 minutes later started talking about being able to shoot somebody to defend your dog. And I couldn't get it off my mind. So in other words, a Black life, it means less to you
than a dog.
Yep. And the other incident that I had with that was I took a women's defense class, and this was in 2020. And it was when that couple in Missouri pointed the guns at the protesters.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the same thing. This lady and the instructor let her get away with it because I think the instructor kind of was on her side. And it made me feel uncomfortable. And I usually don't say anything in these settings. I'm like, okay, I'm here to learn. Let me shut up. But she kept going on and on about, whether you can pull gun on people because you're scared. Well, think about this couple in Missouri, and started going on in that path. And I was like, wait a minute, you don't get a chance to just pull a gun on somebody just because you're scared. And I said, and then realize that if you do that, that person might have a gun and they might shoot you back because they're in fear of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so they looked at me, and it was just like this look that I got for the remainder of the class. And it's funny because I sometimes see that instructor at the range that I go to. And I always say, hi, how you doing? Do you remember me? I took your class. And she's always like, hi.
Because, in that moment in time, you were that angry Black woman.
Yeah. And those are the experiences that I've had when I take classes here. LA Progressives, by the way, is doing an online class this weekend. It's $50. He's in California. He was just on CNN talking about the changing face of gun ownership, and he talked about Asians and firearms, and I'm thinking of taking this class from him. But it's about home defense. And so he said, for those of us across the country, if we want to take it, it might be something worth taking. But he's like, the first part is going to be California specific. And then the second part can be general for all the rest of us, on the principles and properties to make sure that you don't shoot somebody in your house, and mistake somebody for not being an intruder. What are the things that you might need to have as far as a preparedness plan in order to defend yourself in your home? So I plan on taking that just for the sheer fact that it'll be a diverse group, and I know I won't have to hear some wild ass shit and be comfortable.
Yeah. I know one of the things that I talk about. So here in Virginia, we do have open carry. And of course, we have concealed carry. So I teach the concealed carry class, and particularly all of my students thus far have been in Black. And one of the things we discuss in that is I never tell anyone, like, you have the right to open carry legally here in Virginia. And I'll never tell anyone how they should or should not exercise their rights. But I do not endorse open carry for us, because the last thing that I need is to be out and Karen sees me with the gun. And now she is contacting the police, which I am legally and lawfully able to carry by right of where I live. But I mean, in addition to the fact that it takes away the element of surprise and all these other things, just why make it easy for them? But again, I do believe that you have the right to do what you want. I do. But here's why I don't endorse it, but I will never tell you couldn't do it.
Right.
So just certain aspects of how we unfortunately have to live life certain times here in this country that we live in and we love, but we know it's not perfect. And they wouldn't share that with, if you were in a class with other people, they're not going to share that, information. They're just, if they tell you what the laws are, they're going to tell you, oh yeah, you can open carry, you can do this and you can do that, without any regard for the fact that
we have a different experience.
It could, a different experience. So that's why I say the more the merry.
Flash and Canel's comment on the screen.
Yeah, the more the merrier, because like I said, we do have
and I got something to add to that when Crystal's done talking. I'm sorry, Crystal.
No, you good. But yeah, no, that's why we do need more instructors that look like us, so that we can come at certain points from our perspective to say, I mean, yeah, you can do it. However, here's some things you want to consider.
Yep.
It's gonna get crunk in here, y'all. Okay, go ahead.
So I kind of follow, and I kind of understand at what is it, Canel? No disrespect to your name, brother. I just don't know how you're pronouncing it. So yeah, true enough, those protesters did breach a gated community. And they may have been in those people's yard or walking past their yard or on the outskirts of their yard. But what's the first rule of owning a firearm and using a firearm? Keep your finger off that damn trigger, and don't point your gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. Those people never entered their property, never became aggressive with them. That particular couple had his wife, he didn't, but his wife had her finger in the trigger of her gun the entire time. And the issue that I have with them is them two fools made enough money where they could have went and had proper training. And neither one of them did.
Amen.
But everybody seems to think it is okay because, oh, the protesters breached the gate and all that. Well, I can't shoot someone in the back that's broke into my home and decides to turn around and leave because I got a gun pointing in their face. I'd get all kind of backlash for that. But y'all glorifying these two yoo-hoos for flagging people and muzzling people with the firearm that were, even though they breached the gate of this gated community, they weren't rushing up on people's houses or being aggressive with that couple. That couple was standing there and they could have accidentally discharged a firearm. You know, it's just to me, it's I'm sorry, y'all. It's just fucking irritating when I read shit like this.
Yep.
Where y'all always fucking justify some white people that do this type of shit, or it's okay when somebody gets accidentally shot on a TV set with the prop gun because there wasn't proper firearm handling, or just all of this is just it's just always a justification.
It's a justification for the taking and an extinguishing of Black life. And the other thing that gets me with that, and the piece that everybody leaves out, was the day or two prior. It was made known that that protest was going to go through that community. So it's not like it was a surprise. Nobody knew ahead of time. And I'm just going to put it out there and make it plain. That couple that did that, they did that because they wanted to make sure to put the Negroes in their place and show them who is boss.
Now, if they'd have been sitting on their porch with, you know, his little AR just hanging there and his hands not on it, or, you know, her gun sitting there on her lap, her hands not on it.
Exactly.
Then fine. But they were branding people with their feet, well, her at least with her finger in the trigger guard at a crowd. And no one seems to have a problem with that.
Right. And he was doing the same thing. He sometimes there's pictures of him with his finger on the trigger, and there's pictures of him with, and he's just sitting there. But regardless, they're pointing the gun in an unsafe direction to no one who was threatening you. At no point did those people threaten them. And it was made known to that community that those protesters were going to come through there the day before.
Oh, I mean, no, you didn't even add the part. You didn't even talk about the part where the mayor doxed the protesters and put their addresses and everything out there prior to them even going in that community. And my point is this: why'd you leave the house?
Yes,
right. I would never tell. If there are people standing on my yard, I'm not leaving the house. That would be lunacy to me, because again, like you said, you don't know if they have weapons. You don't know what they have. So here in Virginia, you can't protect property anyway. So if somebody is standing on my yard, in my yard, they can say whatever they need to say. You know what I'm gonna be doing? In my where I've set my defensive room, I will be in there calling the police. Now you come into my home, now we got a different story. But as long as you outside, you can say and do whatever you want. I'm not coming out there to confront you for anything, because I assume everybody, in my opinion, everybody's armed and everybody's crazy.
Yes.
And so I treat everybody as armed and crazy. And you said something about there's case law for shooting in the back. God forbid you shoot somebody in the back, because at that point, that person is leaving. Unless they're shooting at you as they're walking out the house, how do you justify that they're no longer a threat at that point? And that's one of the 4 key points of legal use of force. If that person is leaving and they're not presenting a threat to me, I can't shoot them in the back. I'm going to jail.
Yes.
Exactly.
And even with that, my firearms, when I took my CCW class, they drove this point home. They said you shoot to stop the threat. And I remember my instructor saying, be very careful, because sometimes you can get excited, and if you start shooting and that person spins around from having been shot and you shoot them in the back, you're going to have to justify that bullet. Even if you were trying to defend yourself, and you have to account for every bullet that comes out that gun, you're responsible for.
I'm just sick
and we're held to a higher standard.
Bullshit. Yes,
we're held to a higher standard than police, like law enforcement, and it's really ridiculous to me. But as a private citizen who is a gun owner, you are held to a higher standard than law enforcement. It's ridiculous to me, but it is what it is.
And as a Black gun owner, you're even held to an even higher standard.
Yes, and I don't care what law you find in Tennessee versus anybody. I live in Missouri. Each state has their own standard. Each court has their own standard. Each jury has their own thoughts. There's just some lines I'm not going to cross, and branding my firearm and pointing at people, unless I'm defending myself, is not one of them. I do not.
And I'm surely not going to be on your jury. They don't put people like us on the jury. They're going to put Joe Blow, who hates guns and don't think anybody should have guns anyway. That's who's going to be on the jury deciding your fate.
Yeah.
Right. No, thank you. I'm going to sit right in my house. You can stand outside, walk across the lawn, do whatever you want. I'm going to sit right in my house.
Yep.
They had a whole mansion. They could have went to a whole nother side of the house, a whole nother wing of their house. What you come outside for?
Right. And only came out your house to intimidate. That was why they came out. They because they wanted to make sure that they knew their place.
Yeah. Told you it was gonna get hot up in this mouth. Like, y'all thought I was bullshit.
I mean, it's because it's time that we really need to start calling people out on their bullshit.
We call it is.
I'm calling it is what it is. Now where I'm tired of just sitting back and just looking at you, observing. I'm tired of it. I'm at a point now where if you can voice your opinion and say whatever the hell you think you want to say to me, I'm giving you that shit back. Right. And if you don't like what I have to say, then shut the hell up. Don't dish it if you can't take it.
Right. And I'm the type of person I will do. I like I said, my biggest thing with shooting is I like the sport of it. But I'm the type of person I will, knowing I am a Black woman in this country, and yes, 2A is supposed to apply to everyone. I am going to try to avoid using my gun as a very, 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 very last resort. And I said this last week on one of Hookah's lives when I said, if I walk into a Walmart and a grocery store and there is a mass shooter, I am not trying to be the good girl with the gun. I'm trying to get out of the way. If
I my only responsibility, you better tell them.
Yes.
Right. Because number one, I don't want to be a Mantic Bradford, who was the one being the good guy with the gun, an Army officer who was home and was trying to save people's lives, and he got shot. Because I know when the police walk in and somebody says there's a mass shooter, even though the majority of mass shooters are white men, if they see my Black ass holding a gun, that's going to be the first person that they shoot. No questions asked. So if I have to draw my gun in a mass shooting situation,
it's because you had no other choice.
I have had no other option. My first option is going to be to get me and mine out of the way. Let the police handle this situation.
Oh, and another thing that's starting to annoy me is that I've noticed that, I have some.
That's why Curry is with me along with my firearm.
Like, oh, well, I know you carrying, so we good. No, I'm good.
Yeah, right.
What you gonna do if some shit go down? If you didn't care enough about yourself to be your own defender, then why do you think I'm going to risk my life for you or my finances for you? Because if I end up catching the case trying to protect you, what you got on them books and what you got on them lawyer fees and what you got on them civil suit fees, because it's, oh, I know you're packing for me.
Yeah,
It's like
and
everybody seems to think that because you carry a firearm that you're obligated to be everybody's hero.
No.
And that's one of the reasons I really like the USCCA curriculum, and why I decided to go with them as far as my instructor, because we don't just teach about the gun. We teach conflict avoidance. We teach de-escalation. We teach having a plan. We teach run, hide, defend. So that firearm is your last resort. So that it's not just, this is how to use a gun and how to manipulate a gun. That's all well and good, and that's all very important. But we need to learn how to de-escalation. We need to learn to have a plan. We need to learn if I go into the Walmart, where all the exits are. What can I use to cover in the event? Like all of these things. So it's just not enough for you to have training on how to use a firearm. You need to make sure that you're taking this as a holistic approach. Do you have medical training?
Yes.
Do you know how to put on a tourniquet? Do you know how to put on a band? Like, you're more likely to need those skills than you will probably ever need your firearm. So all of these things are important. Do you have some self-defense insurance? I don't know how you walking around with no self-defense insurance and you have a firearm, but get you some self-defense insurance, because God forbid you do have to do something to somebody because they try to do something to you. And we live in a very litigious society, and person may do something to me and then try to sue me because I had to do something to them for trying to do something to me.
Right.
So all these things, and I go into rooms. I go into rooms with Black people all the time, and we talk about this. And the minute I am making it a push as part of my training and everything to encourage Black people to get self-defense insurance.
Yep.
Because I have yet. You have 3. I have 2, and then I have an instructor. So every room I've gone into, it's been Black people. When we talking about guns, the minute I mention self-defense insurance, I always 100% get a what's that?
I have USCCA. I have
that one.
I have CCW Safe, and I have US Law Shield.
Okay.
I have
yeah. You cannot be a responsible gun owner without having some self-defense insurance. Cover.
It just costs you
CYA.
What, 3 Starbucks drinks a month.
CYA. If you have homeowners, you have car insurance. At this point, for me, it's a necessity. Like it's a necessity. I have USCCA. I have US Law Shield, and then I have instructor insurance.
Why do y'all have more than one?
Because they all offer different things. So like some of them, like for a while, USCCA changed it, but they used to only pay your bail up to $100,000, which it would be $1 million bail. You had to have $100,000 in surety. And I believe my CCW Safe does it unlimited. So I want, because I'm not a jail person, so I need to make sure I can get out of jail.
Yes, ma'am.
They have different per diems. So like you find yourself catching a case, and while you're trying to defend it, you might not be able to go to work. You might not be able to. Right. So they have a per diem, and they're the different amounts for the per diem that they give you per day. And I can't remember what it was. Some of them have caps on how much they will pay for your defense, whereas CCW Safe, I believe, had unlimited cap on your defense team. So basically, however much it costs to get your behind off is however much it costs.
USCCA will replace your, because they're going to probably more than likely destroy your firearm. They'll pay to replace it. And then also, it's not every one of them is in every state. So like USCCA, for example, is not in every state. Right. So I know people that have Law Shield because the state they live in doesn't allow for USCCA. So I don't say you have to have more than one. I just have more than one.
Right.
Right. But you don't have to. But have something.
Have something. And then the other thing is, some of them, if you get off on the legal case, and you
Civil.
have found to justify, then sometimes you'll have a civil case, and some will pay only a certain amount up to for a civil case. Some will pay more. So those are the things that some will pay for your legal defense for both the civil as well as the criminal case. Some only pay for the criminal. So there's all different offerings. So to kind of have a CYA, that's the reason why I have 3.
Yeah, and I know at the time that I got mine, USCCA didn't offer it, but US Law Shield has an extra add-on where you can get an additional policy for insurance if you're out hunting and you accidentally shoot someone while you're hunting, and it's separate from the basic insurance plan. So different ones, different things, not all, like Crystal said, not all are in each state. So if you get some, just do your research. I mean, you know, one's not better than the other because we each need it for different reasons.
Right. And so like they'll let you can add on like a spouse. I think USCCA will even, not USCCA, I think US Law Shield will even cover your child if they have to use a weapon in defense of themselves. So I mean,
and then one of them, I can't remember which one. I want to say it's CCW Safe. It covers anybody who's in your house. So
USCCA.
Okay. So if you're say I'm here right now in my house and one of you all were visiting and I ended up being incapacitated by the robber, rapist, murderer who comes in the house, and you then have to take my gun and shoot. Go ahead.
No, I just said, she said all of them: murder, rapist, raperist, robber, trafficker. Because you know trafficking is out of control right now, so trafficker too.
Yes, USCCA will definitely protect anyone in your household that has to pick up that firearm and use it. And even if your dog goes out and bites another dog, or some dog comes in your yard, or your dog goes in another yard, they will protect that sort of thing too. I mean, you might be walking your dog and someone may attack you, and your dog may have to handle his business. So USCCA will cover you for that too.
And US Law Shield has lawyers available 24 hours a day. USCCA has like a response team 24 hours a day. I always tell people, look, I always tell them you don't have to have what I have, but have something. So I always suggest calling, like if you call these companies and ask them questions, look, they're trying to get you to buy their product. So they will answer every question that you have. I just happen to know the local person that's in this particular area. So if somebody wants to do USCCA, I just refer them to her. But get something for sure. Get something.
Some of them will say that you have to use one of their USCCA attorneys. And some of them will let you pick your own attorney. They'll research and make sure that the attorney is
the self-defense attorney,
legit, legit, and a good attorney, and they'll let you pick your own attorney. So that's what the difference is in all, a lot of them are.
So yeah, I say do your research. Like I said, call them. You want my business, then I need you to tell me what you're offering. What am I getting for my money? And if they want your business bad enough, I don't care if you call, ask 100 questions, then call back and say I got 2 more. They should sit there and answer all them questions for you. So until you're satisfied.
USCCA, the one thing I do like about USCCA, even if you don't have their insurance and you're not a member, they have a YouTube channel, and almost every day or every other day they're posting some kind of video. That gives you good instruction, and a lot of it is not just about shooting but conflict resolution. Today's video, I think it was is 9mm the best caliber for self-defense, and they had a discussion about that. So they go into other things. And the other thing about USCCA that people don't realize, it's not limited to the gun. There was one, they have success stories. Like there was one person who was being mugged or something, and they used pepper spray. And that person, they needed legal defense because they pepper sprayed somebody.
Yeah.
No.
USCCA's. I use their reciprocity map a lot of times. If you travel a lot, they have that free map on there that'll tell you your state's laws. It'll tell you where your concealed carry permit is recognized. So, like, if you're going to travel somewhere, you know what the laws are of that area. You know if you can carry. Like, I went to Georgia this summer, and I made sure that before I left, I checked North Carolina, all the states I was going to be traveling through. Georgia said that they accepted my concealed carry permit, so I knew I was good to go because I was not traveling. I stopped at a rest area in South Carolina, and they had a big. They had some information about trafficking because, as we know, trafficking is out of control, particularly us, and no one cares that we're missing. So we again got to look out for ourselves. But I was like, yeah, I'm not going any. What the rest stops here in Virginia, you can't carry in the rest stops here in Virginia. But it's like I'm at a rest stop in South Carolina. Somebody grabbed me. I have no way to defend myself. So I love that reciprocity map. And they also do a lot of there's a lot of trainings on there. So again, they talk about the medical stuff. They talk about the conflict resolution. They actually have a video on there, but I think this one may be for members about college things you can do on a college campus, because most college campuses you can't carry. And they did a series about ways you can shore up your dorm room and things to have. And I was like, oh, this is really good. They have an excellent video on there on teaching children about firearms, and then they break it down into different age categories, and here's what you can discuss at this age, and evaluating the maturity and all of that. So I do love USCCA for that, not just because that's who I have my instructor with, but they do a lot of education outside of just that firearm.
So I got a question for firearm carrying ladies. Do you ladies find that since you carry regularly or actively go and target shoot, do you find that your personality has a lot more patience than you did before you started handling firearms?
I think that's definitely true for me, because there's two things as an American that I value. And one is my vote, and two is my Second Amendment rights. And I don't want to do anything that would ever jeopardize my ability to be able to vote and be able to protect myself.
I found that too. Like, as someone that handles firearms regularly, my fuse is very slow.
Yeah.
To burn. It's like it's mellowed me out a lot.
Particularly because I know for me that I don't want that smoke of having to deal with being a Black woman who had to use her gun.
I never want to have to.
I never want to have to use it.
Between me and you, I won't hesitate to protect me.
Prepared to make that decision.
It's like a very, very, like I carry just shout out. I have a UUB koala bag, and it has a little spot on the side for me to be able to put my pepper spray, and I carry my palm pepper spray in it. And I have a
Me
choice.
too, sis.
Yep.
It's my little bag, my pepper gel.
Yep.
And I can I actually love to carry it. Like, I can carry it on my leg.
Yes.
Like a leg bag. And it keeps my hands free, which I love. And I can carry all the things I need. And my firearms in here. I love and I get so many compliments on this bag. Like, where you get this from?
I'm gonna buy another one because there's a couple.
What kind of bag is it again? A koala bag?
It's UUB U koala bag. I'll put the link in here. I love that bag. It's a great concealed carry bag because I carry mine cross body, but it has a strap that goes around your thigh, so that if somebody tried to pull your purse off, it's still attached to your leg, number one. But number two, it has a compartment that you can reach down in and get your firearm.
Yep.
You're not carrying it on body. I try to carry on body as much as possible, but even when I'm carrying on body, I still like to carry my bag because it has all these little compartments, and I have my pepper spray on the side. And if possible, I'm going to try to
use that first. Yeah.
Try to de-escalate. But if possible, I'm going to reach for that pepper spray first before I ever try to reach for a gun.
Yeah.
And I got another question for y'all.
Mine is from a company called Tactica.
Tactica Fashion. I love their stuff.
Yeah, you can use it as a crossbody. You can use it as a thigh bag. You can use it as a book bag. Like, you can wear it. It's very diverse, and you can wear it in different ways. But to answer your question, Sarita, I just lost it. So there's a quote from somebody who I don't always agree with, but I did think that this quote was excellent. And he said, as a gun owner and concealed carrier, I try to hold myself to a higher standard of civility than what is expected of me. I either leave or try to de-escalate the situation to the point of being almost passive. I'm carrying life or death, and I take that very, very seriously. And that sums up how I feel about that. I'm definitely I've always been kind of a chill person, but I'm definitely more tolerant, I think. I literally, like, you got it. I don't have to prove anything to nobody. I don't have an ego. You got it. You right. And we're going to keep it pushing, because my only responsibility is to get home at night, and because I don't want nobody to have to call my mama and tell her something happened.
Nobody worth my freedom. I always say that. You are not worth my freedom.
Nobody's worth my freedom. So this is mine from You Koala. And it has
I like that. That's like a bike. Is that a bike? Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and they have them in different colors. But this strap, you take it and you can strap it around your leg, so that if somebody tried to pull it off of me, I don't know if you guys can see this.
And mine's like that too. And you can draw. You can draw from there too. Yep.
Yeah. And so that's, what I like about it. But I have on the side here my palm pepper spray, and it fits in perfectly. And I just pull it out, and
I got my knife. The other thing I do carry is I try to carry a tourniquet or two.
Me too.
Also, I do have an IFAK in the car. I have a little bit more of a thorough bag, and then which I take to the range, because I tell people, if you're going to train with somebody, if they don't have a medical kit, don't train with that person.
Yep.
Because God forbid something happens and they don't know what to do.
Right. In my range bag, I have a really good medical kit, and I can't think of the company I bought it from was really great. I have a medical kit in there. I have 2 tourniquets in my range bag, and I keep a tourniquet in my purse at all times.
I'm still trying to find the perfect minimalistic IFAK kit, because I'm finding them to be bulky.
Yes.
I don't want bulk.
Mine is very bulky.
I have, where is it? I got one from No Other Choice, Kevin Dixie's website. It was like a small little individual IFAK. I'm not sure where it is right now.
Can you send me the link, Crystal?
Yeah. I don't know if he still has any. I'm gonna check and see if he even has any more on his website, because I think I haven't seen one, but it's a nice little smaller, and it has a tourniquet and a bandage in there, and a few other things.
I just put the UUB Koala in the chat. And also I'm going to put Tactica Fashion in there, because I love their concealed carry leggings.
I haven't tried those yet.
I have my dog has eaten
and my knife.
A couple of them. But they have these really nice concealed carry leggings, and what I like about them is a lot of concealed carry leggings don't have like a trigger guard protection in the pouch, and they do. And they're just so comfortable. They're very comfortable, and they have 2 types of leggings. They have one that is for like, it has a little seam on the side, it's more athletic, and then they have some kind of dress up leggings, plus they have sweaters that are really nice cashmere sweaters, and you can put your hand in the side and be able to draw from there. They have shirts, they have purses, They have concealed carry belts. I mean, they have it hooked up.
There's a lot of stuff out there. Like I just saw some concealed carry like vests. There's so many products out there.
And
Jackets and all of these things.
There's a sister I found on YouTube who actually does a lot of reviews. I'm gonna see if I can find her real quick. She does. I told Hookah to see if he could find her and have him on her show. She does I'll send you guys the link later on, but she does a lot of reviews on a lot of these products for us, and it's really cool. She's Black. She, is not a very thin woman, or she's more shaped like a lot of us, and she does a lot of reviews on the Dean Adams concealed carry, what do you call it?
Was it T-Monix? Is it T-Monix?
No, it's not T-Monix. It's another woman. T-Monix is good too. She the other thing that I like is I love that Enigma holster.
I can't never seem to get one. They're out whenever I'm ready to get one. They're out of stock. They go that quick.
They go very quick.
You gotta jump on it, yeah.
Yeah.
To get mine, I had to go there like every single day almost.
And have your debit card right there.
Right there, like it's no playing.
Debit card and come back, and they're sold out.
Yeah, I have mine for my Shield Plus, and I have one a holster that I can switch it out for my 365 XL. And I that is the best thing. And the other one is the flashbang holster.
I can't do that one.
I like it to some. The only thing I don't like about it is sometimes when you sit down, and if you for whatever reason bend forward, it slips out, and then you have like the handle of your gun sticking.
Look, the front band of my bra is about this.
It's like printing, yeah. That's why I love this time of year. That's why I love this time of year, because it's hoodie season. And as soon as it started getting chilly, I'm like, yes, hoodie. I can put it on I can cover. No, yes, it's like hoodie season. Yes, easy to carry on the body. But summertime is you got to find them alternatives, because we're not wearing all the layers, and so.
And then I got another question for you ladies, because I've been a hoax on Instagram for quite a few years about when people ask me what do I use for my concealed carry. I've never honestly answered that, because, and it's just the sketchy in me is like, I'm not telling social media what I carry, so you know how many rounds I got in case you're trying to come for me. Do any of y'all ever think that kind of way? Because I'm usually like, depends on what I'm doing, or if I'm doing some competition shooting, I'll share that. Or if I'm going hunting, I may share that and I'll switch it up. But I've never been honest about what I use for my EDC, because I'm like, you don't even know how much I got.
Like, it depends on the day.
Yeah, that's how it is for me. It depends on the day, and also it depends. Some days you don't know how many mags I'm carrying.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You have no clue. I mean, so you might know, okay, a Shield Plus carries 10 rounds with the standard magazine, but how do you know I might carry the extended? Or how do you know that I haven't maybe modified my extended mag with a hive at the bottom of it and it carries 15, and I might carry an extended hive magazine as a backup mag. So you don't know how many rounds I have.
Right.
It only take one. I mean,
and I used to get people that ask me that all the time, and I'm like, I don't know what day of the week is it. Let me see what I'm carrying.
It depends.
Really cute.
It depends.
And I've seen some people on there. Oh, I carry the 365 XL with 15 round extended magazine, and I always carry 2 extra. And I'm like, okay, so they know how to get you to waste
Right. And so I don't go into all that detail. I just tell them this is the gun I carry. You don't know how many bullets or how many magazines I have on me.
And you don't know which one and you don't know which one I'm carrying that day.
Right.
Yeah, because I do switch up sometimes, but yeah, I got one that I just don't tell people about.
Right.
And they say a typical gunfight, you're not gonna use a whole mag.
Yeah, you use about. I think it's 4. It's either 3. I think it's 4 is the average.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, because when I'm out there in the woods and I'm carrying nature's a goddamn on lie, I might have to empty a whole magazine on a couple of bobcats anyway.
I mean, you know, we've seen it done on people.
Right, but if you're at Walmart,
yeah. Well, if they on meth though, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, if they on meth, I mean,
well, first of all, if you come into Walmart and start trouble, I'm out anyway, so it don't even really matter at that point how many rounds I got, because I'm out.
I'm out.
So because you already checked out the exit.
No, put it this way: you start trouble in
ma'am.
Walmart. If I can get out, I'm out.
Oh yes,
that's for
I know it's an exit by the pharmacy. I know it's an exit back by the groceries. I'm scoping it out. I took a situational awareness class, and this guy was like, "Yeah, if I'm going out to a restaurant, he drives around the restaurant. He's like, nah, drive around the back
to see if you can get out,
get that whole picture." So I'm like, oh yeah, I go as soon as I go in the store. It's the exit right here. It's the exit right here. Okay, let's say I can't get to the exit. What's my plan? Because let's say I can't get to the exit. Well, this is cover. This is concealment. But I'm out. I'm getting out.
Yep.
And I can't. I'm about to mess his name up too. Is it Jag Levac 803-601? That's if you hear them while you up in a tree,
right?
And they hop over from the other tree and coming down on you.
You know what? I'm going to ask these ladies, and this might be like a really deeply personal question. You might not want to answer it. Have any of you ladies, or the reason why you got into firearms, been informed by an experience of abuse or assault?
No, and it's starting to seem like it's when people assume that I got into firearms, I have to be very clear about I did not get into firearms because I felt threatened or I was in an abusive relationship or I was attacked, and they look at me like that's not the norm. Like, so you just got into it because you were interested, and I have to explain. Well, when Missouri became open carry, I figured at least know how to handle one safety because every dumbass and their mama is gonna have one, and you never know when you may have to pick one up and make it safe. It's like it had nothing to do with violence, and people just assume when women want to handle firearms, it's already associated with domestic violence, and that's not. It's a case, but it's not always the case.
That's true. And from anybody else want to answer that question?
Same for me. Not that anything happened to me in particular, but like I didn't grow up with guns, never touched a gun until 2019. And I moved from my family, relocated here to Virginia, about 2 hours away from my family, and lived here for a couple of years. No problem. I live in a wonderful neighborhood. The most noise I get is quiet. But around 2019, that's when I started hearing a bunch of rumblings about trafficking. There was a woman who I'd heard a story of a woman who was coming back from the hospital. I think she had just had twins, and maybe she was coming back from visiting the kids and the babies in the NICU. They grabbed her. Some people jumped out of a white van, grabbed her, and were, trying to put her in the car. And thankfully her husband was home, heard her, grabbed his firearm and was able to. And I'm like, well, no one's going to be able to do that for me. I'm a single woman. So I'm probably want to learn how to protect myself. So it wasn't because something specifically happened to me, but from hearing other things that were going on with other people, I decided it was a good idea.
Yeah. Anybody else want to answer that question?
I it was like in 2012, I got my CPL, and I get it. When I was married, many years before that, I did experience some domestic abuse, but as the other lady said, that didn't prompt me to get a firearm. I mean, even through all that, I never got a firearm. So in 2012, I was single with kids, and maybe just being a single mom at home with kids, I didn't want to be needed and not have it. I think that thought crossed my mind, I'm pretty brave, but I might need to have something since I got these kids at home. So I went and got my CPL, and it still took me a few years, maybe 3 or 4 years later, before I got my first firearm. And ever since then, I've been just talking to people in the 2A community, learning more about firearms and growing in ways that I hadn't even expected to grow. I never thought I would be a firearm instructor, but I'm glad I did, because I was able to train my daughter, and she was in my first class, and it felt very liberating, empowering, and just special to be able to have my daughter in my very first class. And she goes out and trains all the time. Even before I became a firearm instructor, I took my daughters to the range. So yeah, it is very strange when people look at you and say, well, I never thought you would be into guns. Wow, I'm just so amazed, It's like, well, why not? I mean, but I get it. I mean, stereotypically, they don't think a Black woman's going to be into that. We're just boring and taking care of our kids and so fearful, or even if we're not fearful, we're just somebody that they don't think is into guns. Or, I mean, not that they don't even think we shouldn't be. They're just surprised that we are.
And there are a lot of us.
A lot
of us.
It for me, that question is a lot more complex because I grew up around guns. Like I said, my grandfather taught me, a grandfather and uncle. This is a bad example, and don't follow this, but it was New Year's, and I was 5. It was the first time I shot a gun. They stood behind me, and so I grew up in a gun family. But then I moved to, I lived in Chicago when it was illegal to own a handgun. And this was before the McDonald Supreme Court case of 2011. And so it's not the reason why I'm into firearms, but years during that period of time when it was illegal, I personally had an incident that I often wonder, would it have been different if I had been armed? So it's not the reason why I'm into firearms, but it is something that I think about how the dynamics would have been different had I been living in Ohio versus living in Chicago.
Now, what was the question? Because I was in and out.
Oh, the assumption that all of the women who are into firearms are women who have had some history of abuse,
trauma.
Trauma.
Well, I have. I grew up around guns too, but it wasn't seen until it was holiday, like New Year's. My mom would go shoot her gun, but that's the only time she was shooting. My mom was in a domestic issue situation when I was around about 12, where my stepfather, she always kept a shotgun, and he pulled the shotgun on her and actually fired it, but he put the shell in wrong way, so it didn't go off. And my siblings, my older brothers, they were able to diffuse the situation, but that didn't scare me away from weapons because of that. And also, I have been in a domestic situation too, where I had a weapon and it could have went bad, but it didn't. Thank God. I probably wouldn't be on this panel right now talking to you guys. But the reason I decided to get a weapon again because the one I had was, and I had moved overseas, so I couldn't take it, so I got rid of it. And I didn't have one for years until 2020 happened, and I was like, I think I need to protect myself, as a lot of us are single, so we don't have that extra person around where you need someone to have your back. So that was one reason why I got armed. And I'm glad I did. I got my sister to get her one, my daughter, my best friend, and I noticed I inspired some people that follow me on social media. I see them; they out there doing their thing too, and I got into getting their concealed carry and getting licensed and taking classes.
Mm-hmm.
And and to all the ladies out there, apparently you get real attractive when you start shooting guns.
Yes.
I got real cute in the last couple of years. You get real attractive. You become real attractive to men apparently when you pick up a firearm. I ain't never got this much play in my life.
What I don't understand about the male psyche, I have had so many times I've been in a gun shop or a gun range, and the guys will see me with my guns or see me purchasing a gun and see the kind of gun I'm buying, and then they'll say, "Are you married? You're wife material." What about me being into guns makes me wife material?
Don't this seem weird to you? But yeah, you get real cute, ladies. So if you're trying to get chose, I'm just saying, you get real cute. You get real attractive. It's weird to me too. I'm like,
Oh, and don't get it twisted. Just because we know how to shoot guns and know a little bit self-defense and hunt things and can gut things, we still want you to open the door for us.
Yeah.
Yes. Chivalry is not dead.
Pay for the bills, cut the grass. I still want you to do all that.
You have stuff.
Hell no.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't chime in now. Don't chime in now.
With this stuff here. I cut the grass, all that stuff, but hey, where's the plate at? We gonna do some gender roles up in here.
Pink Share, she literally brings home.
Look, Hookah, let
Pink
me tell you
Share
something.
literally brings the food home and her man cooks it.
If I go home, when I go out, I scout it, I kill it, I gut it, I clean it, I process it. When I come home, you know what the sexiest thing my man can say to me is, "Give me that meat, baby. Let me go cook some of this for you."
You know what? Because you didn't want to
Give me that meat, baby. Tell him be mad when you don't bring nothing home.
Here's a joint, though. You did it right.
And be mad when she don't bring nothing home. Let her not bring
There's
nothing
the
home.
joint. There's it right there. You did a part. He does a part. Right?
Oh,
now,
I'm all for that.
And on top of that, cook that, then there may be something else that he needs to do.
Teamwork.
To count, not that. I'm talking about other stuff. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And
you know what I'm saying? So there's going to be that equivalent exchange.
Yes.
100%. It's not necessarily the bedroom. I'm not talking about.
Or,
right?
He may talk sexy to me and tell me, "Oh, you smell like outside. I'm going to go cook dinner while you go shoot."
Yeah, go wash your ass.
You smell like outside.
No, I'm joking, but yeah, there's got to be equivalent exchange. Of course, I
it is.
100%. Now, yes, I do open doors and all that stuff, but damn it, don't you ever in your life expect it. You better appreciate it like you ain't getting it. That's real shit. I know a lot of cats out there, both men and women, think that it's supposed to happen. No, that's not supposed to happen. I ain't supposed to do shit. You ain't supposed to do shit. You appreciate it when it happens.
And you know what? When I go out in public and and men and especially the young men now, if they hold open a door for me, I make sure I am very vocal with saying thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, young man.
I don't many times I open the door and I had to say you're welcome first.
Oh God, it is so rude.
Hell no.
You hurt your feelings.
Oh shit! I didn't just shut the door on their ass. Oh shit!
Now you
I
seen
have
that
hold
video
the
where
door
he
open for a
opened.
man. I have hold the door open for a man before, and he didn't say thank you.
No, get his ass.
You should have let that door go on that ass.
I wish I could have slammed it on him.
If they hold the door for me, I say thanks. If they hold a second door for me, I say thanks again. I don't ever not walk. Ain't nobody no doorman up in this joint.
Right.
Crazy.
And buy me ammo.
Hey.
That's sexy too. Buy me ammo.
Silverback
Yeah,
tactical
That is love.
defense.
Ammo is that's how you say I love you to me. Buy me ammo.
Get you a bouquet of flowers, a bouquet of ammo.
Get them flowers. Buy me ammo.
Flash Silverback's message.
I see it.
Message on the screen.
Yeah, put that on
Can
the
I make you ladies
All right
a
now,
home
Silverback.
cooked meal?
What color?
Can you cook?
Yes, can you cook?
Let's start there. Can you cook?
And what color is the Kool-Aid?
Red.
Red. If it ain't red, I don't want it. Now, here's my question. Do you put Velveeta in your macaroni and cheese?
Oh hell no! Stop it! Stop it! Just
I do.
That's all I need to know.
Oh, you do?
I put
just
I put like
completely
4
stop.
different cheeses in mine. Velveeta goes in mine.
It's probably good too.
He
You
got
look like,
crab and steak.
you look like your mac and cheese is good though.
He don't got fancy.
You look like your macaroni and cheese is like your grandma and somebody really good showed
It's
you
a
how to
crab
make it.
shortage. You're not making no crab.
Turf. All right. Look, ladies, this was awesome.
She attacked you on the steps if I let her.
This was some good high speed. I knew that's why I waited all week for this. And Crystal, even though you weren't on the original panel, I'm glad you came through for sure. Go ahead, give y'all
I had to come through see all these lovely ladies. You know, Surrender, that's my girl. We are.
It is never a dull moment with the Python Princess.
Not the Python Princess.
Those cats.
Yeah, all my little animals over here.
I saw a cat with a sweater on, didn't I?
Oh no,
you
she
probably did.
No, she didn't have a sweater on. She jumped up in my lap.
Stop lying.
She
wanted her attention. I don't have any alligators.
Stop lying.
I just got a dog, a couple of wild, some reptiles, my baby.
Her reptiles have a Dyson heater / fan.
It is my Dyson heater. They just benefit from it because this is also my office.
Yeah.
This is my reptile room and my office. So since I work from home, we all just hanging here together.
Yeah. But you know
what am I missing with that 10,000 snow for $70? I'm not. What am I missing here?
It's a hell of a lot more expensive.
The shortage, and he was going into that.
Okay.
It's he said
interesting though. A lot of crab boil places popped up around here. Very interesting enough, even with the pandemic.
It's an issue with the crabs right now, y'all. We're not going.
It's a shortage on snow crabs right now.
I tried to clean it out. She wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I tried to order some red lobster. They were talking about some $50 for. I was like, oh, dude.
Really? I know red lobster.
$50 for something that does not cost $50.
The McDonald's of seafood places.
Them cheddar bays are delicious, though. I don't know what you're talking about. Them cheddar bays. Them cheddar bays that get you through.
They do be fine. But ladies, like I said, this has been a really good trip, and this was it was everything I expected and then some. I got interest on it.
Thank you for having us, Hookah.
Do you have an Instagram? Do you have an Instagram? You're the only one who can find. Miss Ebony, do you have an Instagram?
Who?
Miss Ebony here.
I didn't put hers up there because that's her government, so I'm gonna let her get with y'all.
Okay.
And
I put it in our StreamYard.
Yeah, it's look at the private comments. It's probably there because that's why I didn't put it up there. I did that deliberately because hers is different.
Troy, my mom says hi to everybody.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Yes, indeed.
Slip I sent you, Troy.
Yeah,
come here, Mom.
The food was.
Come here, Mom.
Those peppers are.
Did you?
Those peppers
Yes.
are fire.
Did you get
Oh,
my
shucks
release slip?
now.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
digging that hat.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
digging
She
that
got her hat
hat.
on. You better
Look
let
at
them know.
that. Look at her.
You better
Looking
let
so
them know.
pretty and so fresh and so clean.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, Troy,
Looking good.
because she wants to make sure that you that you signed a release so that she won't get sued for my hot peppers.
Oh, that's all. Good.
And I
look,
labeled on there what's hers and what's mine, so you don't get it mixed up. Sue her.
Because you know what? You know why she's saying that? Just as a quick story, I grew all these hot peppers, and my mother got a hold of some habaneros, and she had some pizza, and she likes to put peppers on her pizza, and she's just putting them on there, putting them on. Oh, I can't wait to have my pizza! I can't wait to have my pizza! And then the next thing I know, my mother's in the kitchen, and she's coughing and choking and carrying on, and all kinds of foolishness is going on, and then she's mad at me for growing the peppers. Now I gave Hookah also a jar which he hasn't touched. It's a mixture of Carolina Reaper, Trinidad Maruca Scorpion, and ghost peppers, and he hasn't opened that jar.
That even sounds spicy. That sounds spicy.
Is coming if you try.
It's gonna hurt. I'm probably gonna say that for doing chili and let that cook down a little bit. But yeah,
you're trying to burn your beard off.
You use one of those. make it in a semi truck.
Hey, if he got bald patches in his beard, it's because he ate them peppers. Because he's gonna be picking them hairs out their beard.
It's nice seeing all of you.
Likewise.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
you better wear that hat. You better wear that hat. Yes, ma'am.
This is how my mother dresses every day, and she's the fashionista of the two of us. I'm not that. Yeah, but also just know that this is 80 right here. I am blessed. She looks great.
Let mom know the warden
80 what?
behaved herself today.
80 years old.
There you go.
80 what?
You gotta stay. When he comes for me, I know he's gonna take me, but I'll have skid marks on my feet.
No.
I love it,
sweetheart.
I love it.
Hey, let's all
my granny used to carry a blade in her purse.
God
rest her soul. She ain't go nowhere without a blade.
My grandmother was surgical with a shotgun.
She it's sweet lady here.
All right, warden.
She taught me some things also about pews.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Right.
So Mama spunky.
Oh yes,
to say the least. Okay.
And she doesn't. And the firearm safety. No, she's black 2A of the Jim Crow South kind of mold. Take that however you understand it. She was born in Arkansas, so she has a different view on things than we do.
We need to have her on the panel.
I done seen some. I drove through Arkansas and they were recruiting the KKK. Had a sign sitting on the side of the road.
Have you ever, any of you ever read the book, This Nonviolent Stuff Will Get You Killed?
Yeah, I haven't read all of it, but I do have the book.
I have the book.
It's on my list.
My mother, she has a different, she put it this way, she gonna do what she needs to do.
Yeah. We need to have her. We need to have Mama on the panel because I would love to hear that.
Yes.
I would love to hear that. That's our history. That's our history. That's that.
That's some Black Panther.
We can't have a part two.
No, they've been trying to tell us black people are anti-gun. No, we not.
No, shoot.
And also, her mother had the shotgun that I shot for the first time. That was my mom's mom.
Silverback.
That belonged to her.
Good night, Silverback.
Good night.
Brothers.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, I would love to hear that. Yeah, I would love to hear her story.
Yeah, we might have a part two for sure. We have to do that. Ladies, I really appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Hookah.
And
Thank you so much.
Sunday, Hookah gonna be on my channel at.
Yes, I am.
At what
6:30.
time?
I'm gonna bring him over here.
6:30.
You doing YouTube or you doing Instagram live?
It'll be YouTube.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll be there on excuse me, Darling Ebony.
But
that
who
page
we gonna have to do?
We're gonna rock out.
I'm gonna have to hit you up in the box.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, be careful.
And these are I just want to say it was nice chatting with you ladies. And the one thing that I always do, I always support and try to elevate all of the sisters in 2A, whether I agree with their politics or not, whatever it is about them. I've always and will continue to always support Black women in 2A.
Shout out.
Thank you. And we support you too.
We got to. We have to be here for each other to support and uplift because we're trying to bring as many as we can on this journey.
No question. I just once again.
Yeah.
So this will be a part 2. This is part 1.
Yeah.
There could be another. There could be more than one love letter because we got a 7th. We got a 7th person.
And another chapter.
To add, absolutely. To add, we got a competitor, right? So there it is. Look at that. This is like
who else? Who else do you know is a competitor?
You're
I only know the only other woman, like I know Ursula Williams is a competitive shooter.
Right.
She's like a national competitive shooter though.
Yeah.
So I always want to try to meet up with more Black women that compete because there's definitely not a lot of us out there. So
you're a trail. You're blazing a trail. I mean, there's.
What'd you open the door
it's
for?
Not available here.
I'm gonna need you to quit being a goddamn on tease and just.
Mom, why'd you open the door?
Who cooks spit? Tell us who it is.
You know what? No more memes for you. I ain't sending you no more funny memes.
Who?
You.
What I do?
You ain't telling us who's the 7th one coming on.
I told you the competitor, Crystal.
Oh, I'm already hit the
There might.
Oh yeah, I did a couple of little videos on my Instagram, my business Instagram. I did a shotgun clinic, a competitive shotgun clinic on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I got to do the spinner in 3 shots. I was very proud of myself. So if you guys want to check that out, it's the on-site training solution. That's my business Instagram.
How far were you? How many yards?
Check that out. About 14 yards, I think.
Okay.
He actually moved us up a little.
Nice.
But like
night,
anybody who ever tried to shoot that spinner, it's like the bane of existence. So
right.
But that was really I had a lot of fun. So yeah, we definitely got to do this again. This was fun.
Absolutely, we're gonna do this again. See, I ain't talking slick to a can of oil. Now I gotta say that next week your boy might take a break. Maybe I might. Wait a minute. I might have one smoke session next week.
You on the streak? This is the streak. You gotta keep the streak going.
True. If this individual is down for it. Crystal, you game to do a smoke session next week?
Yes.
All right.
I actually have somebody. Yeah, I know you asked me for my logo. I have somebody working on the logo for me, so that's not done yet. So I don't have a logo, but yeah, we can talk. We can talk shotguns and snakes, whatever.
Hey, shotguns and snakes. That might be
shotguns and snakes
in the comment.
I need some advice on a logo, on somebody to consult for a logo as well. So if you can hit me with some of that information, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, they're all over Missouri, Atlanta.
Oh.
My mother asked what state everybody is in.
Georgia,
Virginia,
North Carolina,
Michigan,
and Michigan.
Look, Mom says great snow. Govern yourselves accordingly.
Yes, and I also just put in the chat a link to LA Progressive's webinar if you guys want to attend about home defense. Sometimes I'll take classes that I maybe have taken before just in order for me to be able to.
You should.
Get a refresher.
Like, I know people that's been doing this for 20, 30 years, and they still take level 1 courses. So
yeah,
if
that's what I
they
do.
can do it.
This is true. But
that's another thing I tell people when they ask about how to vet up finding a proper instructor. In addition to, do they have a medical kit when you train? What training do you do? Because none of us have arrived or learned it all. And so if you don't train as a trainer,
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
you know what, Crystal? I want to talk to you about becoming a USCCA instructor, because I personally don't want to go the NRA route.
Another reason why I did not.
Huh?
Another reason. I know people who would rather die. when I say rather die, but yes, we can certainly talk about that. One of the things about that, though, is that USCCA is still growing, so it's not everywhere. And unfortunately, NRA definitely has a stronghold where that name opens a lot of doors. So I'm teetering or tottering on possibly adding that to, and I hate that they have this monopoly. Because they would rather die than join the adamant about it. So, absolutely, feel free to ask me any questions that you have about
yeah, because I think the issue is at least here, I think you have to travel you have to travel a distance in order to take a USCCA course, which I'm to become an instructor, which I'm perfectly fine with doing.
I had to travel 3 hours to take my training class. It was a two-day class. I stayed in an area of lovely couples Airbnb. They sang songs to me, and we talked about things. Nice older white couple. But it was a 2-day. It's a 2-day training. And I did have to travel about 3 hours away from home, but it was worth it.
I got my CCW from a USCCA instructor. So
yeah, I'm a big fan again, because I like that they take a very holistic approach.
I like that too.
To the program, and I endorse that about them. So feel free to ask me any questions you have about that, how that all works.
I definitely will.
Righteous. But before we ride, I will give y'all each about 30 seconds of a final thought for the people who listening out here. Start off with the gardener, Darling Ebony.
You know what? I don't have much to say. I ran my mouth a lot. I just, I'm just glad to have been able to share this time and space with you, sisters. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm grateful. And I'm about supporting Black women, period. And I am especially about supporting Black women who understand the value of defending themselves.
Cool. The hunter, Pink Shears.
I am going to say, take a few moments to stop telling women what we need and ask us about what we want, and maybe even go a little further and finding out why we justify one of the things we want when it comes to our self-defense and our firearms.
Nice. The Soror, tactical team.
Stay alert, stay alive, keep your head on a swivel, get medical training, because we all need it. Because if you have to use your weapon, or if one is used on you, you want to be able to survive. As well as stay proficient, train, and stay proficient with your weapon of choice.
Nice. The Fashionista.
Be quiet.
I would say be kind, be humble, be loving, and caring and supportive to everyone.
Nice. The Angler, True Butter.
I would say definitely stay out in nature. Keep your spiritual energy and your spiritual cup filled at all times so that you can be nurturing to others. You can be aware. You can be sharp. You can be just ready to defend yourself and to protect those that you are responsible for, if you are responsible for anyone or if it's just yourself. And be willing, be an open-minded person, willing to learn, willing to become more well-rounded. We're already multifaceted. We have many skill sets on this panel here. And we are definitely, I feel like we're unique because a lot of women don't step outside of their box that they think that they are supposed to be in. So I think we're unique because we don't let a certain thing define us. So keep an open mind and keep learning and keep growing because we can just continue to evolve into who we're going to become. We're always going to become. So keep becoming.
Nice. And my competitor.
My final thoughts, 3 things. 1, mindset is everything. My mind is my weapon. Everything else is a tool. Train, and train some more. You can never train enough. And lastly, advocate for yourselves. If 2020 taught us nothing, is that our safety and security is our own responsibility. And so not only do we need to train, not only do we need to develop our minds, but we also need to make sure that we are advocating for our safety, for the safety of our loved ones, of our children, and our society as a whole. Be careful and watch out for these politicians who want to take our right to defend ourselves away. We got to fight them.
Right. So you're right.
So mindset, train, and then advocate for yourself because you are your first responder, and you are responsible for your own safety.
All right. And shout out to Melanated High Priestess who had mommy duties. So, she had hello business.
Baby boy.
She definitely definitely here in spirit and rocking with us all day and definitely got a lot to say. So definitely reach back to her. Ladies, I do, like I said, I really appreciate this one. This was a really good, just a really good.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah. Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Good night,
everyone.
Everybody be safe. I will get your autograph, Sharinda.
Get Chopper's autograph.
Yeah, I'm going to meet him for the first time as well. So I'm looking forward to meeting him. It's going to be my first time being around Black Rambo. March Torre is supposed to be there, so it'll be first time being in space with him. Are you going to be there, Troy?
No.
Jay the Shooter. I know I'll get to see Jay the Shooter, who I love. I think Pew Culture. I don't know if he's going to be there. And Soji, who is my queen.
She's
if y'all don't follow her, please check her out. She is, she's a wonderful piece, and she is amazing. Another Black sister that's out here killing it in this 2A space. But so we will get everything together, and we'll get set up for our smoke session.
No question.
Take care.
No question. We are going to rock that out. Yes. But ladies, it's definitely been a pleasure. I enjoy the rest of your night, and I thank you once again for rocking with me on the smoke session. As I bid you adieu before I do this closeout. Thank you again. You taught a lot. You gave us a lot of information. I appreciate it, definitely. Y'all be safe now.
You here? Y'all come back now. You here?
All right, y'all. Rock y'all out.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Boom, boom. All right. And
you can take me out.
Yep. And boom. Good night, y'all. Well, once again, y'all, another smoke session has come to an end. And did I ever give you some bomb ass. The game was dropped. I told y'all it was gonna be a good one. I told y'all it was gonna be a good one, and I'm certain that there are gonna be some feathers ruffled, but I don't give a fuck. This was some game right here. I hope y'all appreciate what these sisters brought to the table. And like I said, there could be a part 2 to this one. But once again, next week's smoke session, I will have Crystal with on-site training. And she's going to talk about snakes and guns and more snakes and more guns and dogs and training and cats and all kinds of good stuff. So this will be her time to rock out next week. I don't have an exact date yet. We're going to get that sorted, but it'll be the one that I do next week. Oh, and next Friday, 29 October, there will be a hookah Halloween jam session on Smoke Session Live on Saturday, the 29th of October. That will be out pretty shortly. We'll figure it out with the music. I just got to make sure that's sorted. So there'll be a Halloween contest, costume contest. So dress up. There'll be a prize. I haven't figured out the prize yet, but I'll let y'all know as time gets closer. But once again, I appreciate everybody for rocking me in this joint. I'm glad y'all stuck around. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm about to go upstairs and grab me something to eat and kind of relax for a little bit until I lay it down. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay vigilant. Keep your head in the swivel. And show love. Your boy Gunner Hookah is out.